What is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing today? Happy Wednesday. Just got to pop live on TikTok quick. What's all new? We got a lot of people hopping in already. I'll read off who's all here once I hit the live button over here. Apologies for being like a minute or so extra with that stream starting page. I was answering a comment on TikTok. I knew I was going to get flamed for it. I posted one showing like how to showcase how if your span is the right size or not. And Facebook has a lot of actuallys and a lot of you're wrong because you're dumb type groups. So I'm hoping that we can. I wanted to be able to answer a comment respectfully who said I can tear my ligaments because my bridge was too long. It was a 16th inch too big. It's not gonna crack, but we'll see. Let me hit this PBA news and spare shooting 101. Boom. All right, we are gonna go live on TikTok, but happy Wednesday, guys. We have a lot of bowling news to talk about. We originally didn't. I thought it was gonna be a little bit of a quieter episode, and then PBA said, hold my beer. So we have a lot to talk about in terms of PBA. We have some USB-C news I wanted to talk about a little bit. Their State of the Association that went live about a week ago. We have no new bowling balls. We might have some swag balls. I don't know. Ron Hicklin posted a bunch of names of some swag equipment, but swag hasn't actually posted anything. So I don't know where that's coming from. We have JR Pro Shop already here hopping in. A good base fit is the most important thing. Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, there's always wiggle room with Span. We can talk about Span and Pro Shop stuff in a minute. I'm trying to dig more into the Pro Shop side of things to be able to help showcase to people like what are good things to look at for your Pro Shop, things like that. Otherwise, I want to talk about spare shooting as well. I just drilled a new spare ball, so I thought this was a good opportunity to talk spare shooting, some tips, some tricks, some basics, even some more advanced tips if you want those. We can talk about how certain people shoot different spares, what's best, what's not really a good idea, things like that. But if you are new here, make sure to go drop a like or a subscription on the video. Best way to help support the channel, or a follow if you're on the other platforms. We are live on 4 different platforms right now. We're live on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on TikTok as well. Speaking of TikTok, we had Spareware drop 50 GOAT Spareware. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. We also, I did want to show this off. We got a new quarter zip from bowling.com. So huge shout out to the bowling.com guys for sending us a nice little cheeky quarter zip. Make sure to go check them out for all of your online bowling needs. So when we get to spare shooting, that's a good place to buy a spare ball. They have everything you can imagine, which is awesome, except for some Motive Ascends, because nobody can get a Motive Ascend right now. That was actually going to be my spare ball, and I couldn't find one, which was sad. So I went with a Platinum Mix instead. But let us scroll up a little bit, see who is all hopping in. Yofo was the first one in the stream. Tilo, what's going on? Don Clifton being the first like to the stream. Love that. Thank you, Don. Good to see you, man. James White, Delivery to Joe, Darren Gregory, G. Brian again, Matthew, Alex, Ban One-Handers. That's a name. Stan Young, Vito, Brian again, Kevin, Paps, ADHD, Submarine. We got everybody hopping in tonight. But remember, this is also a full Q&A. So if you guys ever have any questions going on anything bowling or non-bowling, make sure to put it in the comments. I will make sure to answer it to the best of my ability. But let's check out what's going on. Checking out over on TikTok. Papo, what's going on? Spareware, good to see you. Pull up, what's up? User, is the OG Game Breaker the best ball of all time? No. Purple Hammer probably has to win just because of how many titles it has, both amateur and professional. That one's kind of a cheat code answer. So it's so hard to say what the best ball ever is. ST, thoughts on the Ovation? The Ovation's good. Nothing crazy, nothing amazing. It's just a smooth, super strong ball. Gabriel on Twitch, your span video doesn't work. My balls don't have thumb holes. See, that was going to be the demographic it doesn't really fit for, unfortunately. You know, two-handers, your fit is always pretty good. EBA said, hold my beatbox. Let's go, beatbox sponsorship. Love it. Air, been looking at the Epic spare ball since they're so cheap. I've been able to get my spare ball down. Are they worth it? I honestly have no idea. I know they're trying to undercut the market. They're Bowler's Mart bowling balls. Bowler's Mart generally tries to undercut a little bit. You can notice that with their shoes and their bags as well. So I'm guessing it's just like a T-zone, just made in China, so nothing crazy. It's gonna be a potato potato. Most spare balls are nearly identical, minus the colorway. I'm guessing the color is gonna be a little wonky, like a little, probably a little extreme is my guess. And I don't want to say epic, but yeah. But otherwise, it's a spare ball. Nothing crazy. It'll chip as quickly as the rest of them, or it'll roll as straight as the rest of them, basically. Aaron, what's going on? January is almost over. Where has time been? Where will be the main topic of discussion? We just talked about all of this. Brian, my T-zone keeps cracking. Had it repaired twice. Do I need to get another one? So spare balls generally crack quicker than other bowling balls because the plastic of them is just harder and like more brittle, I guess would be a good word for it. So it will crack quicker. Just make sure the edges are super beveled and you'll be good to go. I haven't had a spare ball crack in my last 3 or so. I have been throwing a mix now and I haven't had my mix have any problems at all. So the problem I always notice is when you plug a spare ball, that's when you have issues because the plug doesn't really do best with that plastic material. So that's really my recommendation on it. Let's see. Joseph, I'm torn between the new Vengeance or the Phase 2. You can never go wrong with a Phase 2, but the Vengeance does look good. If you want something stronger, go Vengeance. If you don't, then I'd go Phase 2. Also, drink of the day, cranberry grapefruit sparkler bubbler. This one's not great. It's not as much cranberry as I was hoping for. A little disappointing. Lord Kale, is it worth buying a purple hammer? I'm looking for a urethane in my arsenal. So, a tough question because we're kind of in a limbo period. I would say yes right now, as long as you're not bowling junior gold or you're just bowling amateur stuff, then I'd recommend a purple. But if you're in college, if you're bowling junior gold, I would recommend a black hammer instead then. Let's see. What's up, Too Slim? Going on, Def. Cub Killer, after you convinced me to get the Viking, what is another ball you would recommend? I have a Physics Blackout, Origin EX, IQ AI. You could go with a weaker solid ball to go below the Origin EX, like kind of like a Cove or an Ion Pro Solid, IQ Tour. Something around that range might be a good spot for you. Something to ball down to from that Origin if you still want a smoother piece. Rich, thank you for the info on my mode of Ghost versus Venom Shock. Ended up getting a Ghost. Perfect. James, guess I need basic. My spare shot sucks sometimes. Hey, and that's all good. We all go through bad spare slumps, 100%. So a lot of spare shooting is mental because we've all made every basic spare you can, but it's really just making sure that physical game doesn't get in the way of the mental is a big issue, I think. I know whenever you ask like a pro or just stereotypical coach, it's always spares are all mental, but not exactly. There's a lot of physical stuff that can go into it that can cause wonky things to happen. I was just watching a guy on TikTok who was explaining spare shooting not in the correct way, unfortunately, but we'll get into that in a minute too. Because there's a lot of myths about spare shooting that go around. Just because whatever works for you, you assume will work for others, but that isn't usually the case. Vincent Ludwig, what's going on, man, over on TikTok? And Nerdy just got a Night Prowler. That is a callback. Holy cow. Shot a 263 with it. Nice. That's an awesome game, though. Good job. I did see, I doubt he's watching, but shout out to Lewis Napolis, who shot a 272 last night with his Evoke Mayhem. It is the first 272 I've ever seen. He ran, was it front 9, 8 spare, 4 count through the face for 272. That was, I've never seen that before. Air Statics, what would be a best base spare ball? White dot mix. Yeah, honestly, a lot of spare balls are pretty much the same. T-zones, white dots, and ices and ascends are all basically the same. They're all plastic. They all really don't have a core. They all aren't going to hook much. You want to keep them shiny, of course, all that jazz. If you want a spare ball that's a little bit more durable, that's where like the Hammer Axe or a Storm Mix comes into play because they aren't plastic. The Mix, for example, is like a urethane polyester combo. And then the Axe is technically a reactive, slow absorbing cover stock. So those are going to chip out a little slower compared to T-zones, ices, ascends, white dots, etc., etc. The epics are going to fall in that same category. Claire, what's going on? Drank too much, fouled 3 times, and bowled a 91. How much did you drink? Hold on. Pause. Marine, I really like the Evoke Mayhem, but since I have the Dynasty, would it be redundant? Yes and no to a certain degree. So the Evoke is going to be a lot smoother than the Dynasty. Like their strength level is going to be similar. The Evoke is going to be a heck of a lot smoother. 1, because it's motive, and 2, because that's just how that ball is. So if you want something smoother than it, then I'd recommend of mayhem, but I think they do fit the same part in the bag, so I wouldn't go for it unless you have more than 6 bowling balls. Hey, Jeff, what's going on YouTube? How you doing? Kyle Troop, what's going on? Is that a real or fake one? That's always the question. He has 5 followers, so 50-50 shot. J Money, speaking of the Ovation, would you go with Ovation, Viking, or Transformer? Just for without any characteristics or like things behind that? Viking. I would go Viking. I think it's going to be a little more versatile. The Transformer is awesome. People love that thing right now. But Viking, I think, is a go-to right now. Transformer is just a little too new. It's always hard to recommend stuff that just hit the streets because you don't know exactly what it's going to do. Not 100% positive. Liam, just got the Identity Black Cherry. I love this, but do I play more in the oil? Yes, you will have to play more in the oil. That ball is pretty strong and pretty angular for an ASIM Pearl. Claire, my B, I'm embarrassed. Nah, you're fine. We've all been there. There actually used to be a tournament around me that I was in called the Captain Morgan Open. It was an invite-only tournament, and it was bad. It was messy. There are guys who are on many, many different alcohols who shot crazy 300s and do not remember any of it. It's wild. Mr. Phil, what's going on? How's the wedding plan going? It's going well. It's going good, Phil. Yeah, we're about 4-ish months away right now. Just got photographer, just got DJ. What else? Venue, of course. Invites are out. It's going pretty well. Panda, where can I get info about USBC state tournament? Check out your USBC state page. So every state has a website for their USBC state association. Make sure to check that out. That is going to be your best way to figure it out. Mikey Fish, when does the PBA start doing tournaments? We are 1 month away, less than 1 month away from the very first PBA tournament, which is such a good segue to, I just want to make sure that Kyle Troop who was in here wasn't a real Kyle Troop. Nah, probably not. Sorry, man. I didn't freak out when I saw you. What we can talk about now, PBA CEO. We have a brand new CEO of the PBA. Did I forget his name already? Holy cow, Zach, what are you doing? I just talked about him for a while. 2020. Hold on. Peter Murray. There we go. I forgot his name. Peter Murray is the new CEO of the PBA. So announced today, we haven't had a CEO for a couple of years since Coley back in 2020 to 2022. Kind of a rough time because of COVID, but now we have a brand new CEO who has a massive, massive resume. He was part of Under Armour. He was part of the NFL. He was part of the PFL, the Professional Fighting League. CEO of that, and then a VP usually, and the rest of them. But he struck some crazy deals. He signed Steph Curry. He signed Clayton Kershaw. He's done a ton of scholarship stuff. He helped boost PFL to a really big spot. So he has a massive resume and is really focused on growing the PBA in whatever way possible, which is incredible. Of course, we all want growth in bowling. I mean, one of the biggest phrases in bowling is growing the sport, of course, but how do you actually do it? This is one way to do it. This is a fresh guy. He doesn't have bowling experience. That's not needed for the CEO level, because one thing that a lot of people are missing out on is you have the CEO and you have the commissioner of sports. Those are two very different things. So, I mean, if we'll look up Major League Baseball quick. Let's see, MLB CEO. It's probably a guy you have never heard of. Yeah, Manfred is the commissioner, but do they not have a CEO? Oh, he is both CEO and commissioner. Okay, does NBA, it's not silver, is it? Yeah, top exec is silver, so they might have combined the two. Yeah, he acts as CEO also. So the CEO is more the business and strategic side of the business of the PBA in this example. And then Tom Clark, the commissioner, is going to be the more day-to-day, the more tournament, athlete relationship, things like that. So the guy that needs to know bowling is going to be that commissioner. The CEO's goal is growth, strategic growth, just future looking, future proofing, making roadmaps, getting sponsorships, all of that stuff. So this is where Murray is being signed up really well to fit that spot. His goal is going to be that growth, and he's already had some interviews where he's talking about growth as well. PBA, if you're watching this, I'd love an interview with this guy. Sounds awesome. ADHD, you think Peter Murray will introduce technology like the smart cage in the PFL? Oh, 100%. Yeah. Real-time bowler biometric, for example. No, I could guarantee he's going to try I think he had a lot of great ideas, and it's always hard because, like, this is one person. One person doesn't revolutionize something like this. Like, he's gonna have a lot of ideas, but how many come out to fruition? Because there's a whole team behind him. That's gonna be the big one. But I would really love to see a lot of that. I know I looked a little deeper into that PFL stuff as well. And I think there were some really cool things that they brought just technologically to that. And I think PBA was going on the right track, but I think more technology could be good because bowling is generally seen as a little bit behind the scenes. Like me doing a live stream on multiple platforms, no one really does that often, especially to the amount that I am. So even just the social media side is so behind the times. And I think having him here is going to be really good to be able to try to push us to that next level, try to bring some new stuff. It did Belmo actually. I don't know who's saying that. Bills. Caitlin Clark did. Let's see. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so I'm really excited to see where Peter Murray brings everything, what ideas he has, what changes we see in the next couple of months. Because usually when someone new gets brought in, that's when all the ideas get pushed quickly. So I'm really excited for that. Like any CEO, any big name in any business, you're going to see a lot of changes happening right when they come in. So I'm really hoping to see the same thing happen in bowling. I overall see it as a big positive. I'm a very large optimist in a lot of ways. I see it as a very big positive. YouTube was a little more negative than I expected. Surprisingly, Facebook was more positive than YouTube for the first time ever. But I had a video go out about it, and I was a little surprised. There's a lot of negativity of like, we need an actual bowler in there, or it doesn't matter, PBA is dead. And in that case, why are you watching a bowling video on YouTube? So really hope that he ends up bringing some good change to the sport. Really hope that we can see that grow, see more sponsors. My goal is sponsorship. I think sponsors is the biggest thing. I have a daily show right now with Carolyn Doran Ballard and Jay Fettig of Bowlers Network, and we've actually talked about this a lot, where our main focus is we need outside of bowling sponsorships in bowling. We can't keep having these small names or just bowling companies throw money at each other. I think Jay's biggest quote was, we can't keep siphoning from the same well, or we can't keep getting water from the same well. It just doesn't really work that way. But also, ADHD, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I never said thank you, I don't think. I might have, but if I didn't, apologies. But I'm really hoping that that'll be good. Let's read a couple of comments quick. DCE, what changes do you think he'll make immediately? I think the big one is just going to be growth. I could see he focused on celebrities a little bit in his interview, like more entertainment side of things. So I could see, I think one cool thing was watch parties. I thought I read that somewhere. Watch parties at different boleros for some bowling stuff. I think just, it seems like he wants to leverage boleros, like the popularity of boleros / Lucky Strikes places, and the popularity and bowling PBA, and try to put them together a little bit more. Because bowling has 70 million people that do it every year. And boleros get like 40 million that go to their locations alone in a year. So why not use that? Because that number is bonkers crazy. Absolutely bonkers crazy. So really hoping that there's some cool things there. But we're going to see. Fresh set of eyes from Mike, I think, is a really good way to put it as well. Bill Murray. No, not Bill Murray. Peter Murray. Yep, he has a massive resume. 619, are you? Okay, we have a couple questions on that. Love the show you do with Jay and Carolyn. Watch parties are also a great idea. Absolutely. I heard Zach in a wig was going to be the new Kimberly Pressler. I don't want to throw any shade to Kimberly, but I am shocked at how many people are upset that she's gone. Like the amount of comments that are getting made about like, we want Kimberly back is currently so high. There are so many people that miss Kimberly already, which I wasn't sure how that news would be, like people would react to it, but holy cow, are people like standing behind her. And no one knows the situation of what happened. Like if she got fired, whatever. She said Lucky Strikes and her decided to part ways. So it's absolutely bonkers that much support is happening. I had a couple comments on my YouTube video saying, was she the one, or was he the one that fired Kimberly? Like, one, that's not how businesses work at all. But two, I'm just shocked. A very pressing issue. That's awesome. Bowling needs some change. Absolutely. Bringing newer generation sponsors, got to get people's attention and interest. 100%. I think there's a lot of sponsorship money out there in the world. Businesses are huge, but bowling needs to find a way to be able to get it, is really what it comes down to. Bowling needs a way to be able to get that sponsorship. Papo, are you bowling in a PBA tournament? No, I don't have any plans of bowling in one. I'm on the wait list for the USBC Masters. No shot I get in. I signed up a couple hours too late, and it ain't happening. PNW 78U is the worst urethane on the market. 100% it is. Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to get a 78 hardness urethane, get a black hammer. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting just seeing the comments kind of die down on that. So we'll answer a couple, do some Q&A quick and see what everything's going on. Storm B, can you talk about the Bionic or concept yet? I had somebody jump in my Discord, join within 2 minutes, post pictures of a Bionic and concept, and then they left, and they never really did much after that. So 2 bowling balls that are on the USBC approved list. We know that. It's really all the news that we have about those balls. Someone posted a picture of the concept saying this ball's coming stateside soon. But that same person did the same thing with the Ion Max Pearl, and that very much did not come stateside. So don't trust everything you see online is what I'm trying to say. There are some people who try to garner the clicks early, trying to be the first to post that kind of stuff before it is actually official. So be wary. Good luck. Hopefully you do well. Well, I don't even know if I'm going to the Masters, Papo. I need to get actually onto the main field, which probably won't happen. I was probably like multiple thousands too far in. Derek Miller, I bought a T-Zone Night Sky. Not drilled yet. Need to replace my Deep Space. Oh, good switch. Good switch. And Joseph, Ghost has a new flavor. They do. Blueberry, a blue slushy, and then also a grape crayon. And I have both. Both are really good. I was a big fan of both. Big fan of both. My pro shop owner says they think the concept is coming in February. Yeah, there's a lot of question marks of a lot of that stuff. And the problem is a lot of people like to leak anything that's on the approved list. That's the one issue with Storm still putting stuff on the approved list early. Brunswick and Motive actually removed that entirely. They have asked USBC to not post their bowling balls until they actually get officially announced. Storm hasn't yet. And Storm has a lot more overseas stuff also go live. So there's a lot of question marks and a lot of like anger that comes from it. The amount of people that were so excited for that Ion Max Pearl and were upset when the Transformer got announced was so crazy. Because like you got your own hopes up, brother. Sorry, man, it wasn't coming. So you boosted your own hopes off of a leaker that was very much not accurate. And that happens a lot. That happens quite a bit. I saw a lot of stuff for that Ion Max Pearl, and it was like, JK, it's not coming. So unfortunate. I did see one other comment I wanted to see. JR, Crown 78 is a good 78 option as well, especially those with less hand. Yeah, if you want more hook out of a 78 ball, that's where the Crown comes in. I haven't seen a whole lot of it. I'm excited to see it on the PBA tour a little bit more, but I haven't seen really many people throw it so far, unfortunately. Jazz, thoughts on the Attention Star? That thing is one of the best balls ever, but it has been discontinued for a little while now. Let's see. Joe, spare shooting is easy. Don't suck. Boom. You're welcome, America. No, I mean, like, spare shooting is so interesting because it seems easy. Always see those posts. I remember the post of like someone putting a pin with 2 bowling balls on the side saying, this is how much room you have. Feel bad yet? And like, that's not how it works at all. Spare shooting is always a tough one because it is a lot of mental, but if you don't line up properly, if your body isn't in the right position, spare shooting can be really, really difficult. So it's always good to be able to practice your spares, figure out what your position has to be, your body mechanics, how open your shoulders have to be, what ball you're throwing, et cetera, et cetera. Before we get into spare shooting, I'll do that in like probably 30 minutes or so. But get a spare ball. I don't care who you are, unless you're Norm Duke, buy a spare ball. Some kind of urethane, some kind of plastic. It makes spare shooting 100 times easier. If you're an 85% spare shooter, you buy a spare ball, you can probably go up 5 to 10% just by not having to be so muscled and so specific when you throw. Always will recommend. There's a lot of guys on tour who don't. Those are PBA pros. There are, I think, probably 0 PBA pros watching right now, maybe a handful at most. So I always recommend a spare ball, especially if you're under like a 230 average, always for the best. Always for the best. Chris Vera, what is going on? G. Bryant, what current ball compares closest to the Mayhem? Black Widow 3.0, the original one, I think is pretty close. Equinox Solid, I think is close as well. I think those are going to be the closest that we get. Clark Mary are my teammates in our No Tap League bowled in 88. Nice. Love that. Love that for him. Bowling Brian, P2P or Rockstar Amp to replace the Zen. Flip a coin. Honestly, flipping a coin is going to be the best. They're very, very similar. The Rockstar Amp is a little bit cheaper right now. Brian, PBA needs to have Packy, Barnes, or Kyle rotate to do color commentary. I like Randy, but we needed someone fresh. And I actually had that comment this morning on the Daily Show with Carolyn. I said straight up, I think sometimes bowling commentators get a little too deep in the weeds, and somebody who doesn't know bowling tries watching, and you just get lost. Like your eyes glaze over trying to listen to, say, a Randy or someone, for example, who gets super, super specific. Well, this ball, he got to the 7 board and breakpoint was 3, and he boosted his axis rotation, which ended up causing the ball to go through the face, leaving a big 4, which is not a good sign for him. Like it gets tough. It gets very hard if you don't know what any of those words mean. So there's got to be a different way to do it. Got to be an easier way to be able to translate a lot of that. Be able to translate a little bit of that. Let's see. Don's Bowling Buddies. What's going on, man? Are the Origin and Sub-Zero Forge good together? Yeah, absolutely, for sure. G. Bryant, Captain Morgan tournament sounds hilarious. Yeah, no, it's like it's a Minnesota, like just a group of guys of like probably like 30 or 40 of them. So yeah, it's awesome. Mr. Phil for the Sport Pattern 2025 U.S. Open pattern number 4. Plays like a long pattern after all the carry down. I do not know what pattern number 4 is. U.S. Open 2025 pattern 4 is that the splotchy one? I'm opening up a Reddit page. That's worrisome. Yes, it's the splotchy one. Low-end bowling balls were actually the play on that guy. Remember, most oil patterns can't act, or most oil machines can't put that pattern out. You need some higher end bowling or lane machines to be able to put that out. But if you can, lower end balls are what was crushing it. That's where Andrew Anderson whacked it, absolutely waxed him. So I picked Andrew Anderson to be my player of the year, partially because of bias, but partially because they put out a PBA Dragon in 2026 that plays very similar to that U.S. Open pattern, and Anderson knocked that pattern out of the park. So I feel like they'll put out Dragon a lot because it's a funny pattern. So it'll be like, yeah, I want the funny pattern. And then he could crush it a lot on that, is my guess. Joe, my PSO just threw 300, 824 with the Transformer. The Transformer overall right now is everyone is really liking it. Like, I understand right when it got released or right when it got announced, everybody was very negative towards it. Everyone was calling out copying. Everyone was calling out whatever it may be. The ball rolls really good. Luke Rosdahl had an awesome video go out where he did a review of it, and he said, I take it back. This ball rolls sick. So it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see that that ball's rolling well because it isn't as gimmicky as something where it's like, all right, if you drill it 30 by 5 by 30, you can have everything exactly here, kind of. But if you mess it up, if your PAP is like half an inch off, you actually make it this. So this one is very, I think Stu Williams said it best. He said it's idiot proof. Where this is where the wing is. This is where you put your holes if you want it to be smooth. This is where it is if you want it to roll regular. And when it rolls regular, it rolls pretty sick. It's a good bridge. It's that bridge ball that we were missing where the physics blackout used to sit, where the Origin used to sit. Now is where the Transformer sits, which is really cool. I'm glad there's a ball in that slot finally. Simo, as lefty bowler, I hate my IQ 78 and Pink Widow urethane. Is it me or did I pick bad balls? Honestly, those are two not so great urethane balls. So the IQ 78 is seen as the worst 78 hardness ball because it has a core. The Pink Widow is kind of seen as the same way because it has that massive core in it. So if you don't drill either correctly, which is unfortunate, I hate when a ball has to be drilled correctly in that way. Like that's kind of the Apex Jackal too. Transformer, like I said, doesn't really hit that because there isn't a bad way to drill it. But the IQ 78, if you drill that pin too strong, it doesn't act like urethane. Same with the Pink Widow. So honestly, I would recommend, if you're a balance bowler, I would honestly recommend some kind of weaker smooth ball to start. Just try with that. See if it's that realm of ball. Works a little bit better for you in those spots. But if you do want a urethane, the Purple Hammer will be the play. K-Brew, good to have a more diverse team making decisions. 100%. That's something I've talked about at my job. Where not reading that one. That's something I talked about at my job because we hire a lot of college kids like straight out of college. So we have a lot of people that have only worked in our company. And I keep pushing, this is not a good thing because we want more ideas. We want different ideas. We want people with different experience to bring that in. We don't really want everybody to be in the same spot. Like that just doesn't really help us much, right? Like if we had 20 bowlers making the decisions only, yeah, we'll have bowling covered, but what about the things that golf did right? What about the things that baseball did right? We don't have that power anymore. We don't have that education level. So having those experiences from other people is going to be huge. Absolutely huge. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. Charmaine, what is the difference between the Alert, Mania, Stealth Mode, and Attention Star? Oh, that's a lot of different bowling balls. Stealth Mode's the earliest and smoothest. Mania is going to be a strong sharp ball. Attention Star is weaker and sharper than that. The Alert is going to be the weakest one that's smooth. Going to be the best way to put that. Let's see. Tori, bowling needs some. Oh, yeah, we hit that one. Maniac, have a great stream. Thank you, Maniac. Really appreciate it. K-Brew, PBA betting app. Honestly, I could see betting come into play. And then a big name taking Mafia money to throw would be good for the sport. Yeah, I don't know. I saw One-Handed post a video about some Mafia thing. I haven't watched him in a minute. Just I'm guessing it's a little less negative than the other ones. I'll have to check his stuff out. I'm very curious what that rolls into. Mike, how the PBA doesn't have a beer sponsor is crazy. They did for a while. I think they had a lot of beer sponsors, and then they kind of went away when the PBA declined, because that was one of the big issues. We lost a lot of sponsors when the PBA just kind of started doing that. When the Microsoft execs bought, PBA started declining, and all the sponsors went away because viewership was at an all-time low. Now that the PBA is back on the increase, sponsors haven't jumped back on because, well, PBA just was terrible in recent memory. So why would we do that again? Which is Lindy's no betting. I think betting is probably going to be it's probably going to happen is my guess, but we'll see. Random guy shot 203 in league. Nice. Congrats. Matthew looking to replace my Gremlin with something more angular. RST Hyperdrive Pearl. Very similar hook window, but it's going to be a little rounder and better down lane. Waiting for the snapshot ZVL edition. Yeah, one day. One day. I haven't had Brunswick reach out yet, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think those guys have talked about me in a week now. I have like one of those things at work, like you rip off the number because it's like, it's been 7 days since a workplace injury. For me, it's been one stream since they talked smack about me, because they did last week again. T-Bull, I have the original Equinox and Ion Pro Solid. What would be the next ball in the bag for the typical house shot league? Equinox, Ion Pro Solid. If you like your Ion Pro better, I would get a stronger smooth ball. That's where like a Vengeance, Phase 2, or Rockstar would sit. If you like your Equinox better, I'd get something a little weaker than that. Get like an Ember, a High Road 40, something like that. Yo, Pho, been waiting for this live all week. Hey, good to see you. Is a Sub-Zero not a good ball? I bought it because of the colorway. It's okay. It's fine. Nothing crazy. One-handed lefty, thoughts on sending sponsorship requests to CTD and Spareware. I will guarantee you will get into Creating the Difference. Creating the Difference does not say no to their sponsorship program. So it's not really a sponsorship program, though. Sponsorship means they are giving you things. Creating the Difference, you get a discount. You get a discount on the website. Spareware, Ryan is still getting everything figured out, so I'd pause a little bit till everything's more hits the ground running on that side. What I would recommend, though, one-handed, you are a creator on TikTok, so I'd recommend continuing to create, try to find ways to innovate and bring in more viewers. Try to do that, and then the sponsorships will be coming your way a little bit more. But if you just send in requests, I mean, Creating the Difference, it isn't really a sponsorship program. It is, you get to be a staffer, but they accept everybody or who's anybody. So you just get like 10% off the site, and you get onto their special Facebook group, where some good talks apparently happen on that group, but that's what you get on. DCE, assuming the concept is real, do you think that will be different enough from the level? I have no idea, honestly. I have barely looked at that ball, unfortunately, because when I see that things like when there's no proof of it, I kind of pause and wait. So not really sure, honestly. RJ, watching NCAA bowling, do you believe in how they warm up? Foul line, one stab, all the way through approach. No, I hate foul line stuff. I am not a fan of foul line drills. I'm very much team Mark Baker on this sense. where I think warm-ups for bowling, there's different ways. I think stretching beforehand is fantastic. I think like very, very slow warm-ups is fantastic. I don't know if I do like foul line and one step as your start. I know a lot of colleges do it, but I think we kind of focus on that too much because what you do in that portion of the approach of like what you do in your foul line and your one step is usually doesn't translate to your full approach because once your body gets involved, everything goes back to muscle memory. So you have to fix it on your own and really focus on it for that entire approach. Is my approach, my attack to it. Others are very different on that sense. So it's really to each their own on that sense. I just know for me personally, drills like that have not helped in the slightest. They have really not done much. What has helped me is very slowly going through my approach, going through my motions, because then I can feel things step by step by step versus without any of the steps and trying to isolate. Um, but bowling coaching is tough. Bowling coaching, there's a lot of different ways to go at it. So I don't know. I would do things a little different. Wayne, longtime bowler, first time caller. Just discovered your channel. I'm really enjoying. Thank you, Wayne. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to have you, man. Really glad to have you. Watching from Singapore. Hey, thank you so much, man. Coming in on Facebook. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Sea Lands, I'm like 93% spare shooter. That's solid. But yeah, G Bryant with the Packy Barnes or Kyle thing. I do agree that some more people should we need to show the spotlight on more people. And I'm very, I don't want to sound biased, but I would love if we hit on non-pro creators in that sense. I think that's a space that people do not get into at all. Like I am very rare right now for having people that follow me and not being a professional bowler. Like that is very rare. The top bowlers, the top channels in the world are all professional bowlers. That isn't the healthiest thing in the world because it only gives you their mindset. It doesn't give you the league bowler's mindset. So that's a little, yeah, I don't know. Billy M, I saw that Storm Nation post a little bit of info about the Storm concept, but it got taken down. I know, I saw that. I'm guessing Storm contacted him and said, don't do this. Do not post this, which was, yeah, even if you see leaks, if they're true or not, it's always best not to post them. For context, every company is very, very aggressive when it comes to you leaking information. They do not want their marketing plans like paused because of leaking. In any industry, leaks are bad. Leaks are always bad unless they're planned. Bowling is the same way. So even if you have that information ever, do not post it until the ball gets announced. Let the pros do their things. 80% of our channel is also non-pros from JR. Exactly. Yeah. Like you guys are one of the few. We are some of the few. And you guys do have a couple guys like who are on Team Canada, of course, and you have that Frankie Lavoie guy, whoever he is, jump on once in a while, or you've had, you know, Mitch Houpe, another just random league hack or something. But no, otherwise, I mean, it's tough. There aren't many. And I think that's how YouTube kind of started with bowling or how it really got kicked off the ground was a lot of pros giving that inside look, which is amazing. And I think there's a really good spot for that. But I think there needs to be more areas for those non-pros to really succeed. And this sounds like I'm saying like, love me and make me big and things like that. But no, I think just health-wise, it's best that it's not just professionals. I mean, I saw it today. I got to be honest, Packy's last two videos were insanely clickbaity. Holy clickbait, Batman. For a couple of Brunswick bowling balls. Now, that's not good for the sport. That's so bad. The ball review game is so bad for bowling right now. It's so terrible. Like, everybody needs to remember, I have a video going out soon about it. Everyone needs to remember every reviewer has some kind of bias, usually a big bias. They have their pro shops that they are making money from linked in their description, like a website where you can buy bowling balls, or they have affiliate links. And some of the affiliate link guys aren't as pushy because they don't make much off sales. Or they're literal employees of the companies and they don't tell you. That is another area where I hope it can get improved in the bowling game because it's just so bad right now. So bad. BDG, I have my bowling on YouTube, but I'm a diner/food blogger. Hey, that's awesome. Tyran, what a day. I feel like a torpedo direct hit. Then you'd feel like you're in a garbage can somewhere. Apex, what is going on over on there? Oh, Tropical Surge or Raw Hammer. Yeah, if you're trying to get best bowling ball to start off with is always going to be one of those lower end Hustle, Raw Hammer, things like that. Aspire, or no, Ascend. Motive Ascend is the reactive. I was saying that wrong earlier. My bad. Aspire is the plastic ball. My bad. All right, let's keep on going. TJ Devon, which one is better for spare shooting, urethane or plastic? That one's kind of to each their own. That one kind of depends on who you are. I know a lot of people who love throwing urethane because they have one less ball in their bag. I know a lot of people who like throwing plastic. So that one's what's best. I always recommend plastic. It goes straighter than urethane, especially if you're a little more on the rev dominant side. If you're on the speed dominant side, urethane is okay. If you're going towards the rev dominant side, I'd recommend a plastic ball. Alec, how similar do you think the Mayhem will be to the Equinox Solid? I think they're going to be close. I think the Evoke is going to be a little stronger up front. It's going to be a little earlier than the Equinox Solid. I think just because that cover stock is so much stronger. JR, my dream commentary is Kevin Kelly and Matt McNeil. Yeah, no, Matt's great as a color commentator. There's a lot of good commentators in bowling. Like, if you guys ever heard Mike Flanagan do anything with inside bowling, he's great at what he does. They just don't get much limelight. Yeah, so hopefully we can get a few more different names in the booth. I know we have that with the other sports. We have different names in there all the time. Some are better than others. I mean, we all know the God, who's the guy? Chris Collinsworth? Is that who it is? The one who loves Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, so it's good to have a little bit of differentiation all over. John, again, what is up? BDG B7 test drive in Pennsylvania. That's surprising. Brunswick doesn't do too many demo days. Good. That's awesome. Fly fella shot my personal best at league, average 157. You shot 279 for 704. Congratulations, man. DCE, what field do you work in if you don't mind sharing? Yeah, absolutely. I am a software developer at an insurance company. So we are like very old school in a lot of ways because insurance and banks don't want to change how they do things because there's so much money flowing in and out. But you still need that innovation to change things. Like if you just stay in your internal bubble and build from there, you're going to miss out on a lot of what the world has already surpassed you in. But yeah, that is what I am. And especially in tech, like there's so many things happening in tech. It's good to have those extra ideas flowing around. EJ, you think a phase 2 and effect tour would fit? I can have them sit in the same arsenal. I have my effect tour a little later and a little sharper. You only have like 4 or 5 bowling balls. Do not get both. Get one or the other. I miss Pabst Blue Ribbon. They used to pay $1,000 per 6-pack of strikes. They did. They did used to do that, and not anymore. Josh Castle Rock. I can't get a straight answer. Does the level affect the lane like urethane? No, it does not. The level absorbs oil at a quicker pace than every bowling ball out. So that is the quickest oil absorbing bowling ball according to the companies right now, according to Storm. So it does not change the lanes as much as a urethane does because urethane snowplows oil down lane and it also low flare. So snowplows even more. The level absorbs a lot of it. So it really, you don't notice the carry down as much. It acts more like a reactive in that way. Jim Ward, you got a question. Radical Zigzag Solid was on sale for under 100. Would that ball be better used pin down? If you're slower speed, yes. I'd recommend like pin down or a lot weaker of a drilling. Justin, Zero Mercy Pearl or Hammerhead Pearl. If you want something super strong, go with a Zero Mercy. That ball is insanely strong. If you want more of a transition / burn ball, go with the Hammerhead. Lil Ron, Excel NV Tour, New Blue. Is this a good 3-ball arsenal for a lefty? For a lefty, yes. I think it looks pretty good. If you were a righty, I'd say no because there's no shiny stuff. But as a lefty, you don't need it as much. I do have a lefty video coming very soon. I recorded it. Just have to edit it. Derek Miller, I have 20 bowling balls. If I was going to purchase SPI, what do you recommend for a bag? Holy cow, bro. Start with a phase 2. Start with the goat ball. Try that out. CTD, yeah, it's more of a loyalty program. And honestly, like I will be blunt. Hopefully the companies don't get mad at this. Well, we focus on unbiased and honest ideas on this channel. Every staff program is a loyalty program. There is only a very tiny group of people in the world who actually get paid money to be on staff with a company. So most places, they are not sponsorships. They're more loyalty / staff programs. So Storm, Brunswick Motive, a lot of the staffers you see, they get paid in bowling balls. but a lot of them actually have to pay for those bowling balls. Most do. So a lot of staffers don't get that much free stuff. Like, for example, let's throw Motive out there. Motive, those guys are just paying, a lot of the staffers, like depending on the contract level, they're just paying less for bowling balls. That's the swag program. That's why I was always shocked so many people wanted to be on swag staff. Like, you had to throw swag only, but you also didn't get bowling balls for free half the time. You were getting cheaper rates. You were basically getting what a pro shop got for bowling balls. So you were getting them cheaper, but it wasn't free. So that's always one thing to remember is the staff programs in bowling generally don't equate to, they almost never equate to money. Of course, Belmo is probably getting paid, is actually getting paid money. EJ Tackett is getting paid money. The pros are, but a lot of the amateur staffers, there's no money involved. There's no $0 being thrown around in that sense. So something to always remember. I know that's one that doesn't really get talked about that much, and I am not on staff, so I don't have a contract in front of me to showcase, and I don't think I could anyway. But always remember that a lot of these guys, like a lot of the ball reviews you're seeing, they aren't getting paid by the companies. They're just getting the balls for free. Some of them are. If they're getting paid by the company, it is very illegal to not say that in the video. FTC would have a heyday with it. But that is something to be aware of. Jaybird, do you think if they increase the amount of tournaments for the PBA season, it'll help increase viewership? No, not right now, because there's not enough money to host more tournaments. The PBA asks for a lot of money from the bowling center to host more tournaments, and it is a lot of money to do that. Is a lot of money to have the CW this year there, or Fox in the past to be there. So it'd be more work, and it probably wouldn't be much extra money. I think viewership, it offers some. It offers a little bit of an option where you have more chances to watch, but this year is going to be the true test. There's like 10 weeks straight where there's bowling on. 2 hours of bowling, same exact slot every single week. That's what a lot of people have been asking for since the 60s and 70s when they had that. So if that doesn't work, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. But if it does work, we might have found our play, and maybe we make that 10 weeks into 14 weeks or something like that. So it's something good to know. Thoughts on the Evil Eye versus the Transformer? Evil Eye's a lot smoother and slower down lane, and the Transformer is going to be generally quicker, just weaker and a lot quicker. So something to be aware of. I don't know. The bowling balls are similar in a lot of ways. What is that message that I got? What's our head count? Oh, okay. Nice. Ben Sumas, what are your thoughts on the pink pin, purple hammer? I just bought it. Would like to know your thoughts. Well, they changed the pin colors to match how hard they were, or if they were PBA legal or not. So it's still a purple hammer. It's going to roll great. I'm just noticing I'm a little bit off on my stream. Apologies. I'm not in the middle of the page. So sorry if that was bothering you. Benny Glaze, enjoy the videos. Thank you, Benny. Elizabeth, I'm ordering a new ball online. With the extreme cold, should I be worried about the ball cracking? No, if the ball is brand new, you probably don't have to worry much and isn't in the cold a crazy amount of time. But yeah, I wouldn't worry a ton on that. Brian Busk, thank you for the follow on TikTok, man. Appreciate it. If they want to get bowling bigger, maybe not use PBA, but a 5v5 team league with pros. They tried that. People didn't like it. I think Battle of the Brands is the biggest gold mine PBA can have, where everybody is loyal to brands. So I think that's a really good option. They just didn't do a great job with execution last year in a lot of ways. So I'm really excited. Hopefully it gets a little more traction this year. I was hoping it was like a week by week league thing, but it really wasn't. It was a one-time thing in a lot of ways. It's hard to learn from pro bowlers when you're a league bowler. Absolutely. Hey, Jazzy B, what's going on? I just want a Spartan. You like yours at 3 or 4K? Dude, I cannot believe how different that Spartan is at 2,000 grit versus 3,000 grit. I cannot get that Spartan to hook down lane at all when I have it at 2,000 grit. I just sanded mine again to test. I was going to test it against the Evoke Mayhem, but I didn't get my Mayhem yesterday, which was sad. I'll have it next week, luckily, and I'll test it against itself. But when the Spartan was at 4K, it looked like a really good house shot ball. Super clean through the front, super smooth down lane. It was good. The minute I put 2K on it, the thing hooks at 20 feet. Like, I had some videos last night that were insane. Like, I was leaving some wild stuff because the ball was burning up so quick. It was crazy. So, yes, 4K. Final answer. JR, I'm the random league hack. Jazzy B, how'd you drill yours? I think I went, if I remember right, it was like 55 by 5 by 35, I think was how I went. Dave Shaver over on Facebook. I enjoy your site. I find it extremely informative and unbiased. I'm a 66-year-old lefty. My wife blames you for having 8 bowling balls and looking for a few more. Dave's wife, I am so sorry. I take no blame. You cannot sue the channel for any bowling balls that your husband purchases, by the way. But I appreciate him following, and I appreciate your soon to hopefully be love for how many bowling balls he has. I love those kinds of stories. They're great. They are awesome. Best benchmark ball for Brunswick, alert, 100%. Definitely alert. Corey Casey, my T-zone is getting pretty chipped up. The axe seems tougher. Yeah, it is, 100%. Just because it is, the axe is just because it's reactive. Mike does Bowl TV well from Bills. Oh, Flanagan's awesome on Bowl TV. Bowl TV is a hard job to have. You are talking bowling for 8 hours. It's a crazy amount of time. Hey, Kyle Camp Bowl. Welcome, man. Good to see you. JC Bowler, track theorem hybrid is incredible. Mine goes much longer than an alert. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Don, I'm going to miss Kimberly. I wonder who they're going to get for their on the lane correspondent. I wonder what they'll do for an on the lane correspondent. If they will, they might have like, I don't know, someone do something different. That's the thing. Like, one question we need to ask is, we've all seen PBA telecasts. We all know what they look like. Should we do it that way? Is going to be a question that I bet gets asked in a boardroom at some point with all the execs. Should we change how a PBA telecast is? For millennia, it's been 5-person stepladder. Should we change that at all? Should we change the formula? Because right now we get 5 guys on TV and that is it. We get very little TV time from only 5 guys. So people thought Belmo fell off a cliff last year because he barely made TV. And when he did, he lost. But he was a top 10 bowler last year. So should we change it? And I'm not saying we should or shouldn't. I'm just saying something to ask yourself, something to think about. Carolyn and I went into it a little bit today in our daily show of, should we change how the bowling TV shows operate? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? We get rid of a little bit of that tradition, but we might bring in more viewers. Top 16 on TV from K-Brew, that's an option as well. I think just more changes would be really good, because every other telecast we see, you're going to see all of your favorite athletes. If I'm a 12-year-old kid getting into bowling, I love two-handed, I love Jason Belmonte, and he makes one TV show in the year. I just watched 10 straight weeks of PBA telecasts, and I saw my favorite bowler one time, I'd be pissed. I'd be so upset. That's like telling somebody, hey, LeBron's your favorite basketball player, but if you watch a Lakers game, you're never going to see him. Sorry, man. He will show up once every 20 games. Like, no, that sucks. That would be unfortunate. That's when people are most upset watching sports, is when their favorite player is out for whatever reason. That's why they made all the rules in the NBA that you have to play X amount of games. So, I don't know. Something to ask yourself. Something we're all going to start asking ourselves, and I bet PBA is asking themselves that a little bit. Something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. K-Brew, why the mix over an ice? Because I don't like the ice colorways right now. I just think the teal is good, but a lot of people have it, and I like to be a little different with my spare ball. I think the spare ball is like a place in bowling where you can really customize yourself and stand out in a certain way. So I would love an overseas spare ball. I should have bought the red ice that was there for $200 a couple of months ago, like 8 months ago or so. But this seems like the next option. I'm a Nets fan. Every part is the worst part. Oh, poor guy. Do you think CW will have the strike tracker on the screen? That is a good question. That was a Fox thing. Now, it is just Specto, I believe, that can get you that information. And Specto is Kegel, so I would assume so. But I honestly have no idea. I have no idea what a telecast is going to look like. That first week is going to be very eye-opening to see what the PBA is going to look like this year. Because when there's a change, you never know what it's going to be. Ready. Is the IQ Tour AI a good ball down from the IQ Solid? 100% it is. And Charmaine, what's a good weak smooth ball? I like the IQ Tour. I'm a sucker for the IQ Tour. The Dark Side Curse is looking really good right now. Otherwise, what else is good out there? Danger Zone Solid is a pretty good one as well. That one's super cheap. Nick over on TikTok, do you think an Ion Pro Solid would be good for an intermediate bowler that's rev dominant? I think so. I think it'd be a good option yet. Hydra, thoughts on the Rotogrip Duo? I'm not a fan of the Duo because it's very smooth for being a pearl ball. I know Don in chat loves his. So it's very hit or miss ball. It's a very hit or miss ball. Random guy, I want to fix my arsenal. You have a hazmat, pearl, and a surge. Would you recommend Zero Mercy, solid, and X-ray? Yeah, absolutely. I think that gives you like a pretty well-rounded arsenal. K-Brew, and I was on Monster Bowling. They had bowling balls for $75 for staffers. Yeah, exactly. You still weren't getting balls for free, which is crazy. So that's a big one to remember, is that a lot of the staffers you see in your area aren't getting that much stuff for free, if anything. Depends on the, of course, contract level, if you're getting free stuff or not. Guido, ball cleaners you buy over the counter or mix up your own? I'm not a guy who mixes my own. Ball cleaner's ball cleaner. I always recommend the stuff you buy. I think stuff like Tack Up or things like that are always fantastic, but a lot of them are similar in a lot of ways. If you want to make your own, absolutely. It's going to be cheaper for you, but it takes a while to go through a bottle of cleaner. Jaybird, we hit that one. Cash Collins dropped that lefty video. It'll be coming sometime in the next week. I'll be editing it this weekend. So, yeah, it'll depend. It'll depend on when ball releases happen. Brunswick has started teasing a couple of bowling balls. They had a Radical ball, and they have some track stuff. Track, they said, like, we have some tricks coming, and Radical said something about, like, changing the game, of course, because apparently Radical's new MO is we need to poke at Storm as much as we can. I don't know. I think that's what their post was. I should check before I say that. Verify. Radical. Carolyn posted a picture of what? All right, let's see. Radical's last post was... No, we are not looking at that. The impact of this one will be profound, is what it is. So, one of their teasers that doesn't really mean much. You're going to have a bunch of people that say I need to buy 8 of them, because that's usually what happens in those posts. However, like, have you guys seen the Outer Limits black hole go down the lane at all? I haven't heard of it yet. Let me know if you have. Like, I forgot that ball existed already. And I'm not trying to say that as, like, to be facetious, because Phil got angry at me about my black hole video, but I haven't seen anything about that ball in weeks. I don't know if people remember that it came out. And the ball looks good, but be curious. I know views on any review of it were really low. Also, again, has anyone seen the swag video, the balls? I don't remember if we answered that earlier. I know I asked, but Ron Hicklin posted text for a bunch of different swag balls. There was like a serpent in there and a judgment. And I haven't seen swag actually post anything. Does anyone know for sure? I want to talk about swag stuff because a lot of the swag staffers really want me to. And we have a lot of people who throw swag stuff, so I want to talk about it, but I haven't actually seen anything. So it's interesting. Brian Sweeta with the $5 super chat, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Taking my son to Houston for the high school tournament. He has a raw hammer, eternity pie, and a physics blackout. Ooh, okay. Raw hammer, eternity pie, and a blackout. I think a shiny ball, like a medium-ish shiny ball, would be a good play. Since there's there's a little bit mix of everything. That's where like the Nebula, the Phase 2 Pearl, or like a Game Breaker 5 Pearl all fit. They all fit right there. Sweet baby Jazzy B. New colorways for ZVL Shammies. Dude, yes, DH Labs is working on them as far as I'm aware. That was a couple of weeks ago, so I got to hit those guys back up to see where that is at. What was your name? PC's better than console. Yes. The black hole looks really good. No, it looks great going down the lane. Just, I don't understand the reason they released it a week before the Black Widow. I don't understand the lack. I mean, I know I got yelled at for it, but their marketing just isn't great. A lot of their guys didn't even review it. And if they did review it, they reviewed it right before the Black Widow got announced. So I don't understand that at all. Like if they wanted reviews of that ball, they should have posted them immediately and try to get people to pre-order it those next couple of days before they cancel their pre-order. But a lot of people canceled the pre-order because those guys were complete idiots and bullies towards me on their podcast. So there was a lot of people that canceled their pre-orders for that. So appreciate everyone who supported on that. That one was wild, but I'd be curious. Jim Ward, Packy just did a video on it. Yeah, why now though? Like that's the thing. Like that's where you're gonna get a lot of the views is Packy. He's the number 3 channel in the world. But did he post it to the extras channel too? I don't remember if he posted to the extras. Like that is your guy. The house bowling. He posted it on, no, he posted it on his extra channel. He didn't even post it on the big channel. Really? Yeah, that's a thing right now, by the way. A lot of the big names are making 2 channels because you can make double the income. Yeah, the most versatile ASIM. He put it on his, yeah, he put it on his extras channel. Like, for example, Packy has 23,000 subscribers on his second account. So he's just printing money by making a second account. Like, that is insane. We hit that one. My balls have lasted 6 baking sessions. That's crazy. Zach, when does that start with the bowling being on a schedule? It is, I should remember the date. It's like the 20-something of February. I believe it's the 22nd? I think it's the 22nd of February is when all that goes down. I'm pretty sure that's when it is. Kevin Koch, thoughts on the Black Widow Visiball? I'm not a fan of it because I don't like spare balls with a core in them. That's why, like, I don't like the Spy or the Torpedo Direct Hit. Like, I don't like a spare ball that you can use for strikes as well. I like a dedicated spare ball just for mentality and just for being able to, just being able to use that just for that reason, and it's going to go straight. Up to you, though. I know it's a little pricier. I know a lot of people love it. I do think it looks super, super cool, but up to you. I always recommend T-zones, honestly. I'm just basic in that. G9, did you get a degree for your career? Yes, I have 2 bachelor degrees. I have a bachelor degree in computer science and mathematics. Bowlman Spencer, how do I get Motive to sponsor me for doing a Michigan challenge to bowl all alleys with a score of 200? If you have a social media following and you contact them and like, hey, I want to do this and I want to put you on my videos, it might work. Remember, social media is a business overall, 100% a business. So keep that in mind when you're doing this stuff. If you just ask like, I want free stuff, they're going to ignore you. Those guys get asked for free stuff daily. JR, I preferred the old league format. Not a fan of brand-based. Either way, I think just a league setting, something to emulate what you see in your weekly league is a really cool idea. I would love if they did it on a house shot. I would adore. I think it's the dumbest and coolest idea out there. Tom Clark, someone clip this and send this to Tom. Carolyn, if you're watching this, send it to Tom for me. I'm going to bring this up on the Daily Show to her for sure. I would love 5v5 bowling. It can be Baker, whatever, but put it on that center's house shot. When you're at Thunder Bowl, put it on Thunder Bowl's house shot that the league guys bowl on. When you're in Missouri, when you're in St. Louis, put it on that center's house shot. Screw the sport shots. Put it on the house shot. I want to see 280 to 270. Let's go. Let's have a strike fest. Let's just do dumb stuff with that. I think that'd be awesome. One of the biggest things that people like see when bowling is like, well, why is it different than what I bowl on? That guy just shot 190. I averaged 200. Am I better than him? Well, then put out a house shot. Let's put out a house shot for the league and let's just watch people crush it. Like all those guys could average 250 if they really tried on a league shot. Let's go. Let's have some fun with a strike fest. Again, that is just one man's dumb dream. It might be a terrible idea. I think it'd be hilarious. I even think for one tournament, let it be on a house shot. I think we fixate a little too much on sport shots at times for growth. So I think a house shot tournament where you truly see these scores, I would love to see someone shoot an 860 in a PBA competition. That's like, of course, unsanctioned PBA. Like it doesn't fit for the record books, but like just like an exhibition tournament where there's money on the line, give me someone shooting 800 to 800. Let's have fun with it. DCE, is it dumb to have a purple pin and a green pin purple hammer? Hey, do you? I think a purple hammer is a purple hammer. Depends on how soft they are, but like, I don't know. I'm in. 250 sometimes leads on animal patterns. They might average 260. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they might, which would be sick. Like you don't have to do qualifying. Just do the league format. Just go league format house shots. like, we're in. We are not going to have, like, we won't have urethanes being thrown. You're going to have reactive stuff. The guys can just throw the newest reactive stuff that they want to be advertising the new equipment, because that happens half the time anyway. Like, let's go. Let's just crush it. Let's crush a house shot. We had EJ Tackett, was it Holiday Doubles, I think, where they put out the house shot, or Nightmare Doubles, one or the other. Like, he averaged like 250 on that thing. Let's do that. I would be so in. Can you imagine having a televised 900? Dude, if you have 2-300s in a telecast, you know how electric the crowd would be? People want to watch strikes. That would be sick. Why do you think people like the home run derby? Like, that is what we want. Now, the strike derby is a cool thing, don't get me wrong, but like, let's see actual true scores. Not, I can throw 15 strikes in 60 seconds. Let's see, I can shoot 879 and never miss the pocket. That'd be awesome. And I understand, like, it doesn't really showcase true skill a lot of the time for these guys, but it'd be sick. It'd be so sick. House shot tournament, maybe the PBA bowlers would be cool to see. Exactly. Then you can say, like, the league guy, if I know a lot of people like really like to harp on, like, yeah, these 220 average league bowlers need to be humbled. Well, there you go. Watch a PBA guy shoot 260, average 260 in 10 games. It'd be awesome. It'd be so sick. Guido, for me, I lose interest when everyone is using urethane. Better for the bowlers, I think, but they're using balls I'd be interested in buying. Oh, 100%. I would argue that urethane on TV 24/7 is bad for bowling, because everyone then thinks I need a urethane ball, because there is a true correlation with what balls get thrown on TV versus what balls get some big sales week after week. If Sunday you watch and there's when there were 5 purple hammers going down the lane, you get to Monday, guess what people were buying? Purple hammers. Do you need a purple hammer? No, especially if you're bowling a league shot. So a lot of these league guys are like, I need that purple ball. And they buy it and they'll average 180 because they can't carry a 10 pin with it. Like, well, sorry, man, that wasn't a good ball for you, but it was thrown on TV. But now if you see them bowling on a house shot and you see an outer limits black hole, for example, boom, there you go. I don't know if we'll see a radical ball thrown. I don't know if we saw one last year at all. But if we did, there you go. People want the black hole, and that actually is good for their league pattern. And I'm not saying all PBA tournaments, by the way, should switch to house shot. I'm not saying that at all, just for preface. But I think it'd be cool. I don't know. I might be crazy. Call me crazy. Please do. I am very crazy. I'm talking to a camera right now in office, and no one's around. I guarantee my neighbors think I'm nuts. So let's see. Tyran, I want a urethane ball to have one again. Absolutely, always an option. Or a bracket instead of a step ladder. 60. Should I get a Nebula if I have an old Primal Rage? Yeah, if you want a replacement for the Primal, that's a good option. Dawn, I have a Three Stooges Visiball. That's sick. Dude, I love the old school balls that haven't cracked yet. Let's see. Duncan, where would you put the Deviate Damn Good Verge Stall? Medium smooth, right next to a Phase 2. That ball was the closest thing to a Phase 2 that we got from Brunswick ever. Callie, I've been rolling better with one ball. That's all. Hey, that's awesome. Good for you. I'll always argue, like, I had somebody attack me on Instagram a little bit, like, I only throw one ball and I can average better than a lot of these guys with 10. It's like, cool, that's good. But if you're golfing, yeah, I could guarantee you put, I don't know, some golf pro like Tiger Woods in his prime, you give him a 5-iron, he's going to beat me with 14 clubs for sure. But even like a middle of the road golfer will probably beat me if I have 14 clubs. But you're going to do better. Your skill ceiling is higher with more tools. It's like, can you pound a nail into a wall with a screwdriver? Yes. Is it easier with a hammer? Yes, absolutely. A lot of different analogies. Delivery Joe. Let's say hypothetically you bought a ton of balls and have a little something from every category, but want a new toy. What are your recommendations? Maybe just chance it on a mystery ball. Depends what you're looking for. If you want looks, do it. I will never, that's one thing with bowling, like, go buy that ball. If you really want to and you have the funds, like, and it's not going to put you in a bad spot and you just want that retail therapy. Yes, people do it all the time. I do it all the time with basketball shoes. I'm a shoe junkie. I'm a sneakerhead in a lot of ways, where I will just buy pairs of sneakers that I wear 5 times not even in a year. But retail therapy. So I always recommend it. find one that you like. Like, man, that ball looks so cool. Let the hype die off a little bit and then see, do I still really want it? Yes. All right, sold. JC is Apex Jackal, Evoke Hysteria, Primal Rage. Good. Yeah. Well, a lot of pearls. I'd recommend a solid ball instead of all three. I don't think you need a Jackal and a Hysteria. Steve went to a local pro shop to see if they had a Vengeance. They said they haven't had much demand for Storm stuff, save the Phase 2 Pearl. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Rich, thinking of replacing my Thrill Solid with a hybrid. What would be the difference? Hybrid is a little longer, a little quicker. Yeah, swag stuff is good for league bowlers. No, I mean, I had that argument with a lot of people, like, when I talked bad about Pyramid and I had everybody get mad at me. Facebook is very upset with me for that one. Yeah, the balls can work for anybody. Absolutely. Can people use noodle golf balls and do well? Yeah, for sure. But if you want that top of the top performance, that's where the main three brands do have that reputation. Is swag getting better? Yes, 100% they are. That's why I'm going to make a video on these new releases whenever they actually fully announce them. And Hickland isn't the first one to announce them. I will make a video on them because I think they have a chance. Now, do I like a lot of the ways they do things? You know, 6 balls at a time and then you forget about them for 6 months? No, not at all. Do I think their stuff is still way smoother than the rest of the market? 100%. Do they have a niche though in the community? Yes, they do. How does a small company like New Line come out with the first reactive, the Excalibur, before big companies did? Innovation. If you put I mean, I'd say a good video game example, this one might be a little bit over people's heads who don't play video games, but there's a game that came out this year called Expedition 33 from an indie company that won everything. Those guys were just, I mean, they just made a game, but it was revolutionary. People are going to now base their game on that one. It was just a group of 15 to 20 guys who got in, made this incredibly beautiful game, and boom. So that's the same way in everything. You can always have those little companies that dump a lot of money in, a lot of heart, a lot of love, and make something incredible, kind of like with that. You can pre-order on Classic's website if you're a pro shop from Mr. Don Connor. That's great, but why has Swag not announced him yet? Like, come on. I'm doing a check to be sure. I want to check to be sure before I say anything. So, Swag Bowling. Have they announced him? No, their poster child is still the Black Dragon Pearl. And the Apexes. And the Craze. Like, and I know for a fact, I will never have anybody send me a swag ball again. But man, put an announcement out. You don't want a random dude on Facebook making your big announcement if you want to get big. If you want to build that hype up, you got to do something, man. So I hope we don't see, like, just start seeing reviews for stuff that nobody knows exists. That would suck. That would be unfortunate. JC, how does your wife feel about all your bowling balls? I personally donate some of mine to unload when I get new ones to avoid eye rolls. Nah, she's good with it. She comes with me to tournaments. She sees a lot of the stuff. So yeah, no, she's good with it. And of course I'm doing all this stuff and I've explained to her, she understands like why a lot of ways and she's good with it. Like she said, it's my money. So go nuts with it. Don, info date was yesterday, was the info we were given. Swag. Swag. Come on, guys. Let's go. Does she bowl? No, she doesn't bowl at all. Nope. Zero bowling with her. Nope. A lot of bowlers go for other bowlers, but yeah. I did not. Random guy, would you put the Zero Mercy solid top of the bag? Yes. Hazmat Pearl in the middle. Yep, Don, his extras channel. So like that, yeah, it's I don't know. Going back to that, yeah, going back to some of those balls that got ignored, like, I mean, what was the other one that I saw? I have a performance review video coming soon, and there was a couple on the Brunswick list. I was like, I forgot that ball exists, in all honesty. Cali good. Yeah, so let's see. TJ, do plastic balls have a lifespan? No, because they don't absorb oil. Technically, if a plastic ball never cracks up on you, it could last forever because it does that and urethane. Urethane doesn't absorb oil either, so as long as they don't crack, you're good to go. Ajax, where do you get your, I'm guessing, international bowling balls from? So I got, let's see, what did I get? Rubicon Extreme, I got, I think, from Bowlers Connection years ago. IQ Winner, I got from Bowlers Connection. Zenasura, I got from Bowler X like 4 years ago because they didn't have another ball I was getting. I had an Envy Pearl. That was from Bowlers Mart, I believe, because they sometimes do overseas stuff. But otherwise, Bowlers Connection is my place to go. They have an eBay. They're on eBay, and they're awesome. They have a lot of cool stuff. If I look right now on eBay, Bowlers Connection. The Bowlers Connection on eBay. They have an Optimum Idol Glow for 120, Honey Badger Renewal for 100, Prime Gate for 170, Physics Rays for 210. Any others? No, they're a little bit low. RSTX4 for 160 and a Duty Majesty for 100. So all overseas stuff. So good place to go. Good place to go. Can you imagine how many balls is too many balls? No number. No number at all. A house shot tournament made up of PBAs would be cool. We hit that. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm 100% in yet. G-Man, do not be promoting. Sorry, brother. Train Boy, I bowled my first 300 at a high school tournament. Nice. Congratulations, man. It was a Trailblazer solid. That one was good. It got ignored. That one was good. Oh, Bowler's Asylum too, Bowling Crocs. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Congratulations, man. That is super, super cool. Love that for you, man. Spencer Edwards, would a Hammerhead Pearl be good for Rev Dominant two-hander? I think so. It'll be a stronger Pearl ball for you then. BDG, sport shots are very heavily skewed at times, taken too far. Maybe just a gimmick to encourage 12 ball arsenals. No, it's not a gimmick at all. Like bowling, there's no Illuminati-esque thing in bowling. Like, I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, they're banning urethane to boost reactive sales. No, that's not it at all. Nah, you do need it. I think you need that. I will argue you need more bowling balls for a house shot compared to a sport shot. Outside of the PBA, of course. If I'm going to a house shot tournament and I don't know the house shot or the place I'm bowling, I'm bringing more bowling balls. House shots, you need to focus on striking more than just hitting the pocket. Where on a lot of sport shots, it's hitting the pocket a lot. Boog Kroll loves throwing the black hammer on TV. Yeah, you're a two-hander on TV. Why would you throw anything else? A lot of the time, it just works. Eating whiskey. They should play a tournament on house shots taking place immediately after a birthday party. You have people from the crowd bowl 2 games on it, and then these guys have to take it on. That would be awesome. Max, Rev Dominant two-hander looking to replace your UFO. Any suggestions? Original? I'd go Ion Max. Ion Max will be closest. Wayne, doubles tournament with 1 on house and 1 on sport. Dude, so one of my favorite tournaments I've ever bowled, shout out Nick Heilman, it was the La Crosse, Wisconsin Open, right? It was 6 games. Your first game, so you had 2 different patterns out, but they weren't lane to lane. It was pair to pair. So for example, game 1, you might be on the house shot. You bowl a game on the house shot. Game 2, you're on a sport shot, either super long and flat or super short and flat. It alternated every year. Game 3, you're on a house shot. Game 4, you're on a sport shot. 5 house shot, 6 sport shot. And they did brackets where you had your house shot brackets and your sport shot brackets. It was sick. Coolest tournament I ever bowled. It was always super fun because you're like going like trying to crush it. Like you shoot 240 on house. You're like, all right, now I'm on 35 feet and flat. What do? I remember I threw an old blue fay ball, a blue hammer fay ball there once. It was awesome. But yeah, that was always one of my favorite tournaments. Brian recommended an RST Hyperdrive Pearl as a good replacement for the X2. Yes, 100% it is. I think that's the best option. Giving love from Mexico. Thank you so much, Pablo. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for hopping in. Thank you. Jaybird, I got a question on the ball charts. How do we correlate the speed and rev chart to the type of ball that fits our game? Best way to explain it is if you're rev dominant, you're going to like the weaker bowling balls. If you're speed dominant, you're going to like the stronger bowling balls. So the strong categories are going to be really good for speed dominant. The weaker categories are going to be really good for rev dominant. Let's see. What was that comment that just came in? I'd pay good money to hear JR complain about following a pair of 6 5-year-olds. I would not pay money for that. I bet you there is a video online of him complaining about that. Agree on that because of unknowns and walking into a carry contest. Exactly. If you're in a carry contest, you got to have the right ball in your hands because the ball can shut you out. Absolutely. There's always going to be the people that say throw it better, but it doesn't really get you far. Tyran, bowling balls are like Pokemon. Exactly. Got to get them all. 100%. Alex James, swag is still thawing out from the storm. They might be. Those guys are overseas, though. I think they're South Korea, if I remember right now. RJ. No, that'd be fun. They'll just delete your comment, man. They delete everybody's comments on there if they don't like them. Don, a team of 12 to 15 guys developing an epic video game. Sounds like Mythic Quest. It was a show from a few years ago. Oh, I've never heard of that, actually. Pablo, I'm 14 and average 190. That's awesome, man. That's super cool. Good. Really sweet. Happy for you. Bradley, how would you compare the Phase 2 Pearl to the Hyperdrive Pearl? Phase 2 Pearl is earlier and a lot smoother than the Hyperdrive Pearl. Hyperdrive Pearl is longer and quicker, in my opinion. Train Boy, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Trailblazer dies out quick. Whole alley was silent. Dude, the worst thing with your first 300 is everybody getting quiet. I hate it. I always hated that. I think I got a 300 on my first time going into the 10th with 9-bagger. But the place just dead quiet. I always hate it. Like if I'm somebody who's bowling like a couple pairs away and everybody like backs off, I'm like, no, guys, just act normal, act cool. Let them, they're nervous enough. Don't make them more nervous. That's always the worst thing you can do. Brecken, is the IQ 78 good? Get a black hammer instead. Dating bowlers has yielded mixed results from JR. Bro, we got to sit down. I got to hear about your dating history, man. I need to. I need to sit down with a drink and just listen to this thing. Let me know where I can get a flight, and I am in. That would be awesome. Me, you, and Tajiri are going to sit down and talk about your dating life. I'm in. BDG, Mom's 1985 Yellow Dot is still going. That's so cool. That is awesome. I love that. Callie, when I first picked up a bowling ball, overseas equipment was so rare. Not likely the case. It still is super rare. I have never seen anybody with the same overseas ball as me. Like, ever. Period. So it's still incredibly rare. Just more people are getting them because, of course, you can see more things on the internet. Big one. Mike, if you could make your perfect ball, what would it be? Oh, Equinox Core, Zero Mercy cover. Oh, I've answered this before. What did I say? Oh, man. I would go like Scorpion Low Flare cover on, no. Scorpion Low Flare Core on the Phase 2 cover, which is pretty much like an Effect Tour. I just love that range of bowling balls. I don't really have like a favorite. It's tough. Like a lot of stuff is rolled for me. I don't really ever have very much a favorite bowling. So, a little tough. Tyran, if you bought one, yeah, $500 6-ball roller and you got 12 balls and you need 2 of those. Well, don't get the 6-ball rollers is the best option. Just get the 3 balls. Bill Benson, thinking of getting a Zero Mercy solid. Speed dominant, already have a Mez. If you want something stronger, yes, absolutely. Jacob, if you were to build a 3-ball arsenal around the Amped for League, Rockstar Amped, Equinox Solid, Ion Pro Solid. Oh. Thanks for tonight, Zach. Have to go now. Hey, thank you, Lindy. Thank you so much for hopping in. Appreciate it. So, one thing we haven't talked about yet is another topic, even though we're an hour and a half in. Apologies for that for anybody watching on YouTube. Spare shooting. Spare shooting 101. Let's talk about how to shoot a spare. I just drilled a brand new spare ball. This is a really good thing to talk about. I want to make a video on it. I did make one last year with Maribeth Baker back in like February, but I want to dig into it a little more. There are different ways to shoot spares. For everybody, the basics of it is if you're on a house shot, hooking at your spares is A-okay. Zero problems at all. I recommend it. If you're a righty, you leave a 4-pin, hook at it. If you're a lefty and a 6-pin, hook at it. There's no problems with hooking at your spares on a house shot or on a sport shot. It's up to you. You have to worry less about the oil pattern if you throw straight at them. But on a house shot, you have more room for error if you hook at it compared to throwing straight. Best way to do it is, of course, the 3-6-9 method. I think is really easy. That is wherever you're lined up, if you leave a 2-pin, you move 3 boards to the right as a righty. If you leave a 4-pin, you move 6 boards. If you leave a 7-pin, 9 boards. Kind of what I do, which is very, very lazy, doesn't really get me in trouble that much, is I basically line up around like 10 and I throw up like 8 and I let my ball hook at a 4 or 7 on house shot. Just how I do it. It works on my personal house shot. Results may vary in different places. Hooking at spares is a-okay. Number one, always remember that. Don't let anybody try to tell you, oh, you're being lazy, not throwing straight at it, or you need the practice throwing straight at it. Spares do not need as much practice as you think. You do not need to spend 2 hours shooting a spare. That does not get you better. What you need to do is, one, if you're buying a spare ball for your first time, or you need practice on 10 pins and you really haven't done it before, I do recommend a couple practices early in your career, understanding where you stand, what you look at, and just watching your ball hit the 10 pin. I think that's very important. I don't think 2 hours, 10 years later, just shooting a 10 pin over and over doesn't get you much. It gets you the idea of knowing where to stand again. Gets you an idea of where to look and what to hit. But a lot of that after you get more accustomed to bowling is a lot of like your physical game is set. It's just that mental side. But to get to that physical point, one thing you do need to do, what I recommend if you're just starting, because we have a lot of bowlers who are really just starting that follow the channel, is going to practice and trying to figure out where do I stand based on my drift, based on what I like. What do I do to hit my 10 pin? I grab my T-zone. For me personally, I aim at the 20 board. That is middle arrow. That is usually like the recommended go-to for corner pins. If you need to throw a spare ball, is going over 20. That is generally seen as the best option. But what I recommend is trying to figure out, throw like 5 to 10 spare shots, figure out, all right, where am I standing that I have the best results? And where do I hit down, like at the arrows for my best results? Write it down. Write it down. Whatever you do, write down. To hit a 10 pin, I stood on 30 and I hit 20, whatever it may be. I don't know, whatever your number is, write it down, put it in your phone as a notes app. All of our phones have notes apps. Do that. 6 pin. What do I do? For me personally, I move 2 boards to the right for a 6 pin. I stand on, what do I stand on now? 22 right now. When I aim at a spare, I have a lot of drift. So when I leave I go 3. When I leave a 6 pin, I go to 19 and I throw at the same exact spot. Now, everything else, I'd recommend playing around, figure out what works. Across the lane is always the best method. I've taken on the Anthony Simonson approach with my 3 pins, my 3-6-10s, where I actually throw my ball up like 10 at the 3 pin. And I have had way better results with a 3-6-10 than I ever did going cross lane at it. I never had luck cross lane with the 3-6-10, but when I throw straight at it like that, much, much better results. So my recommendation is just sitting down for an hour practice. If you're just starting, learn what your numbers are and stick to those numbers. Read those numbers and only do that. If it's not working, you might have to move. For me, when the lanes are hooking a ton, I sometimes have to stand on 23 and hit 20. If I'm missing my spot to the left all the time, what am I going to do? I'm going to move to 23 instead of 22 where I'm standing and aim at the same spot down lane. Now, I always recommend going over middle arrow. There's a couple exceptions. For me, when I'm shooting at a 2-10 combo, for example, a 3-7 for a lefty, I try to hit 15. And because of where I hit about, not 15, 25. I hit 25, like 5th arrow. I hit there. Sometimes it'll be a little bit further left because of just my eye dominance. So there's different ways that you can shoot certain things, but the good rule of thumb is always be hitting 20 board if you're shooting straight at your spares, and try to have spots where you stand. Everybody's different. If I tell, who do we have here? We have 190 people hanging out here. If all of us stood on 22 and hit 20, our balls will all go in different spots. Like some of us will hit the 10 pin, some of us will miss left, some of us will miss right. So try to figure out your own personal numbers. It's your own numbers for your spare shooting. Don't let others tell you otherwise. If you see, I know JR had one of the greatest videos go out with Frankie where he went through exactly where he stands. The thing is, you cannot use exactly what Frankie uses because you guys drift differently than Frankie does. So that's always something to keep in mind for spares. That's always a good one. Once you know physically, once you have your physical down of what you're going to do, make sure to throw it the same too. You don't want to change your bowling form just to hit a corner pin, just to hit a spare. That's never good because then you're using more muscle and you're changing what your muscle memory is. Your goal of a spare is like a free throw. It's very similar for all basketball fans out there. Your 10 pins, if you're a righty, is like a free throw. If you do the same thing you do when shooting a three-pointer or shooting a shot at the elbow, shooting a mid-range jumper, whatever it may be, you will be fine. The less thinking you do is also better. The people who stand there for 10 seconds thinking about their spare generally are worse than the ones who go quick. That's something in basketball that's happened recently. Steph Curry changed it a lot because he just does one dribble and shoot. I think that's really good for spare shooting as well. The less you think, the less you stand there, the less nervous you get. We all get nervous on spare, especially like you're in a tournament and you feel like you need to make it. Horrifying, absolutely terrifying. The more you stand there and think, the worse it's going to be. Just go out and do it. That's a good way to get your mental game out of the way. Because I know mental game is always very tough. You get nervous easily. Try to take that out of play by just going a little bit quicker. Let your body just take over. One good way is just think about the steps you're taking. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just hit your spot and be good to go. So hitting corner pins, that is generally the best play. 6 pins, like anything with a spare ball. If you're not using a spare ball and you can hook at your spares and you're on a house shot, something easy, gives you more room for error, do it. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's just how many spares do you hit? What's your percentage? That's all that matters. It's just like bowling in general. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's just how many you get. So that is our quick TLDR of how to shoot spares in a very simple way, trying to take away some of the meh out of it. So I want to read a couple of your guys' comments on there. Brian, I'm the opposite. Every time I throw straight at the 3-6-10, I only hit 2. And that's how I was when I was angular at it. I was really bad at it. JC, I think it depends if your spare ball is a core or not. Absolutely. Lion, I throw straight with my strike ball on most spares. For some splits, I hook with my spare ball. Some other splits, I throw back up. Tyran, little trickier to aim right when your neck has been as fused as many ways as mine. Tend to favor looking a little left. Yeah, and that's where your shoulders are a big play. You're like, if you're a guy who never gets, deeper than third arrow, one of the big ones you have to do is your shoulders are important. That's a lot of guys that I know who they only play up the 5 board or up the 10 board. They never get deeper on the lane. So their shoulders are always very square. One thing you have to do with corner pins is your shoulders have to open up. You have to act like you're throwing in that direction because you're not throwing straight up the 5 board or 10 board. You are throwing at an angle. You have to open up those shoulders to try to let your body do its thing. So sometimes there are some physical things you have to do to figure it out a little bit more. I'll talk about the problem that I've been having with spares lately. One of my biggest issues is with my old spare ball, the fit was a little bit weird. My ring finger actually was a little too long on it because I was trying a different span at the time. And it was causing me to throw spares differently. What I would do is I would get right here and I would pull down. I would try to throw it hard because the mix I had was hooking a bit more than my current one now. So I was trying to throw it harder at my corner pins when that doesn't need to be the case. So that was causing me to be inconsistent. So I was missing a lot of spares doing that. And my spares going to the right were really bad, but going to the left, I was A-okay on. So it's always figuring out what are the reasons you're missing. What are the reasons you're missing your spares? Because everybody in the world goes through problems with spares. Norm Duke went through problems with spares too. It's just learning, all right, why did that happen? That's always a good thing to do is even in practicing for if you're throwing regular strikes in league, why is that happening? It's never, oh, I'm just unlucky. Like sometimes that happens with an 8-pin or 2, but overall, why did that do what it did? There's always a reason. It's never some magical, mysterious thing. There's always a cause for it. So figuring out what that cause is super beneficial to being a better bowler. Ooh, cranberry was needed after that talk. Wow. You guys have questions, please let me know. Just like Gio, what do you got? Okay. Non-spare question. I'm stuck between buying an Evoke Mayhem, Effect Tour, and a Sub-Zero Forge to replace your T10. Effect Tour is going to be closest. Definitely Effect Tour will be close. I'm the Shack of spare shot. The heart, my system might seem a bit weird. I stand at 35 through 20 for pin 10, standing at 30 for the 610, or 310, stand at 20 for everything else on the right side, stand at 15 for anything on the left. Yeah, and if it works, it's okay. Joe, Lavoie's method brought me from 40 to 75. When I miss, it's all me. That's good to know. Just need reps with some spicier spares. That's a big one too, is understanding, like, getting used to some weird spares. Like, luckily, because my ball roll was so bad for a couple years, I was leaving 210s like crazy. So I got pretty good at shooting the 210 or the super washout because I bowl on so much sports stuff. I know how to shoot at a super washout pretty well. I'm probably 50-50 on super washes. Washouts too, I'm usually about 50% on. So yeah, it's just figure out, like, get practice a lot on just weird spares. So one good thing to do is when you're out actually practicing, which I do recommend doing. Don't be like my league teammates at my work league. Dan, if you're watching this, go practice. Make sure to go practice once in a while. Just get everything down. But once you're throwing, if you're leaving stuff, shoot at it with your spare ball. Just shoot at it like a regular game. You don't, I never recommend caring about your score in practice, but I think caring about your spare percentage, if you want to do that, is a good way to do it. Just naturally shoot spares. Because I know for me, if I throw with my spare ball 10 different times, then I go to my strike ball, my strike shot is going to be worse. 100%, because just the feel and what I'm doing in my mindset is way different than when I'm throwing at a strike. So taking 20 shots with a spare ball doesn't get you as far as naturally shooting spare. All right. Whew. Let's see. Wayne, I don't use my thumb for strikes, but I can for spares. My approach is completely different. Absolutely. And if you're a two-hander who uses one hand for those, 100% it's different. Mike, I know I intend to overthrow my 10 pins. Everybody does. Don't worry about that. Garrett, any tips to help stop muscling your swing? Yes. Go to a practice session. Go and just bowl open. Think about it. All you need to do is just think about, hey, I'm getting here and I'm pulling. I've actually been doing that a lot lately. So I have to tell myself, slow down, you idiot. Go slow. Be lazy. The being lazy is the biggest thing I tell myself when I'm muscling it. Be lazy. You want to feel lazy up there. That's usually my go-to. 180 average bowler. Thank you so much for the membership. Welcome, welcome. Forgot it's Wednesday. Well, glad to have you, man. You aren't here too late at all. Dip it. Are you throwing plastic straight down 10? Yes, I am. Well, my mix. I'm throwing a mix. So on house shots, it was nice because my mix would hook just a little bit. Versus my, like, an ice would hook not as much, but it would still hook enough where I'd be A-okay. And the ball usually can ricochet into the right direction. It just, I don't know, it just boosted up my percentage like crazy. And I think my body, I'm always better at throwing up the lane compared to trying to hook it a lot. Even though with where I bowl and my revs versus speed and all that jazz, I do need to hook it a lot. I am 25 times better playing directly up the lane. Like last year at Nationals when I was able to play like up 8, oh, I was in heaven. I should have shot 1,400 for double singles and I just sucked too much. I just suck too much for that, but it helps a lot. And Outlaw, thank you for all the gifts, man. Holy cow. You had, and Steve Rubling, thank you for the heart me. I didn't see all those gifts coming in. My bad, guys. Welcome, welcome, and thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I'm thinking in my head about shoulders, putting comments, and you literally make the point 1 minute later. It's why your channel is blowing up. You're tuned in. Thank you so much, Tori. I'm a mind reader, actually. That's my secret talent, is mind reading through a computer screen. It's very helpful at times and also very hurtful at times. You know, you can hear a lot of people say some mean things about you. Tyran, today's adult beverage is Echelon Watermelon Thai Chili. 8-pound ball, overhand, full fastball follow through. Dude, if your shoulder can handle that, props. Rye Smalin, is the Nebula or the Primal Rage or the Nebula better for rev dominant bowler with low tilt? Nebula. Nebula will be better. And also, Outlaw, thank you for the Gamer 2025 gift. Really appreciate that, man. That was a cool animation that popped up. That was sweet. Guido, I only use a spare ball for the 6 and 10, and that's A-okay. If you bowl house shots, you don't need a spare ball for much else minus a 6 or a 10 pin. But because we leave corner pins so much, it's just such a common leave, I recommend having a spare ball for that. Eric Rhodes, thank you for the sub. And Outlaw, thank you for Sage the Smart Bean. TikTok gifts are weird. BD 247 for me, straight at the 3, slight move to hit the 2-4. There you go. Perfect, perfect. And PJ, what is the next time you'll be doing an Arsenal review? Hopefully sometime in the next few weeks. The big thing with Arsenal reviews is they are my longest video to make. And they're very tough to do. I've actually had to pay people to help me get Arsenal guides out there. I paid them in bowling balls. to help prep the pictures for me. If I go start to finish on an Arsenal review, it takes 2.5 hours, probably 3 hours to finish the whole actually at least 3 hours to finish the whole video, where a lot of my other stuff takes like 1 to 2 depending on the video. And I just, because I work the full-time job and I do content stuff, I just don't really have that 3 hours to put towards just an Arsenal review very often. So I try to get them out as best I can. I try to piece by piece them through, but it is always the toughest video to make. So that's why I'm very, very behind on Arsenals. I might have to come up with a new strategy to do them. I think that's going to be the best play. Tyrion, the cheap ball and the expensive ball Arsenal was epic. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I thought it was fun to do I like doing the expensive one just to see like how eye-opening it is. It's always fun. Lazy Lion, I throw straight with my, oh yeah, we hit you. JC, just adjust for your drift with Frankie's method. I'm 4 right of his spots. Yeah, I mean, I'd be way right of his spots. Frankie vid, not my vid, hooking at the 10 pin. You made a video hooking at the 10 pin? I haven't seen that one, JR. I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that. Jacob, do you recommend the Storm mix, or would you say a T-zone or white dot? Any of them. The mix is going to be a little bit more durable, but it's more expensive and is going to hook a little bit. If you're rev dominant, go with a plastic ball. You want cheapest option, I always recommend plastic. Plastic is always going to be the way to go, in my opinion. Always the way to go. Let's see. Random guy, would a 3-ball Arsenal would be good for a USB-C city tournament? Yeah, because it's usually just house shots. So I would recommend doing a little scouting on what their house shot is and then try to bring an Arsenal for that. But yeah, absolutely. And I recommend everybody here. We have 176 people right now watching. I highly recommend everybody here go bowl your city tournament, your association tournament, and go bowl your state tournament. It is not difficult. I shouldn't say it's not difficult to make money, but anybody can make money at those. And they're a fun time. It's a fun day, fun 2 days of bowling, whatever it may be. We're hosting the state tournament in Owatonna this year in Minnesota. So if you're a Minnesota bowler, make sure to let me know when you're going to be coming down for the state tournament. I'm going to have to come down and say hi. I'll make videos about that soon too, to talk about that a little more. But you don't need 20 bowling balls to bowl your state tournament. It depends what bracket you're in, what area, all that jazz. So I recommend bowling it because you can make some easy money that way. It's not insanely difficult. You're not going to make a ton of money, but you can make money. ADHD, leaving a lot of pocket 4, 7, and 4 7s. Is there an adjustment or am I in the wrong ball? Probably in the wrong ball. Your adjustment is moving left. Your adjustment is moving left, letting your ball hook a little bit later. B. Dean, what was your assessment of the Spartan versus Jackal Onyx? Jackal Onyx was a lot earlier. Jackal Onyx wanted to pick up sooner, and it wanted to be actually sharper down lane, which was surprising. But I did, both of them were shiny in that video that I made. So I saw the Spartan as cleaner and a little smoother, actually, than the Onyx. The Onyx just wanted to pick up and go. That's just what that ball wanted to do. So that's how I see it. Would you come to a Nampa, Idaho tournament? Huh? Nampa, that's a place. That is, drum roll please, probably a long ways away from me. Directions from here is 22 hours if I drive. So probably not, depending on what the tournament is. Matthew Smith, Mario RPG, best game of all time. I couldn't finish it, man. I got to DK's area and I just kind of stopped. I tried playing it picking it up this weekend again and it didn't work. BH, if you're taking part in Singapore Bowling Federation, the mix is on the list of banned balls. That one was weird. I was a little surprised they added that one, but you are right. The mix was banned in Singapore. It's not banned stateside for the USBC's current rule sets, but it is banned in Singapore, which is odd. I don't know why that one was there, but for anyone who doesn't know, there was a lot of urethane balls being banned little by little overseas. So you're seeing more and more places banning either all urethane or certain types of urethane, the soft ones. So something to keep in mind. We might get news maybe in the next couple of months about what the next year or so are going to look like. BDG, Onyx is money for me. Oh, dude, at 3K, that ball is sick. That ball is such a good house shot ball for me. It blends the wet dry better than any other ball I have. I did not like it for sport shots. I love it for house shots. Jaybird, what are your thoughts on the Energize now that you've had it for a few months? That thing is strong. I think it's a really good ball that also blends the cliff very well, and it's good for a first game of a house shot. but it is very strong. So if you don't have much oil out or your lane panels hook a little bit, it's a little too strong. Stronger than what the core should be. I think the cover they put on it is just super jacked up, is my guess. Super, super strong cover on it. So I really like it, though. I overall really like it. All right, let's see. Over on TikTok, Alex Lopez getting back into playing after I quit after high school, picking up a tour solid tomorrow. Nice. Congratulations, man. Let us know how it is. Let us know. Board, rate my arsenal. I'm not going to do some arsenals right now, especially with a lot of balls, but for you, Black Widow 3.0, 2.0 hybrid, Mania, Summit Peak, you got to have some weaker balls. Weaker smooth ball is going to be a good play for you. I play leagues and tournaments. Yeah, some kind of smoother piece. You have all the Widows, but you need something after the Widow. Don, good stuff. Thank you. Absolutely, man. Tyran, I don't think banning urethane is the way to go. Rosdal had a really good breakdown on it. I actually disagree with Luke on that one. I do. I understand what's happening. I think the last international tournament was a big issue. A lot of people were soaking their urethanes, and if everybody starts soaking them, everyone's going to start cheating. There was a lot of calls of cheating at Junior Gold last year for their urethanes. There was a lot of them that were a lot softer than they were supposed to be. Soft urethanes are an issue. 78 hardness, not as much, but like somebody said too, we got to think of it on the entertainment side and the balance side of things. We need some more entertainment in this game. We got to bring in people. We will get to a point if we wait for 10 years that people are only throwing urethane on any sport shot. How it is. That's how it is right now with more rev dominant and them getting softer and softer. It's probably how it would be. I agree on the soaking cheat. Yeah, that's the big issue is like, sure, the transition sucks. It makes rev dominant bowling the way to go. Like, because of urethane, if I would be coaching someone right now, I would ask them, please, like, if you want to make it to the PBA, you have to be a two-hander is what I would. You don't have to be, but you have to have 500 revs because urethane is the play. Now, if you take out urethane, will you need that? No. I think it'll balance it a little bit more. The Frankie Lavois of the world are going to have a much better chance once urethane's gone. Lower rev rates cannot use urethane. It just doesn't work out very well. Very tough to do. So for balancing the game out, I think it's good. And also for the soaking incidents, I think it's very good. And I know that's going to lose a lot of people. I guarantee that we're going to lose like 30 viewers on that. It's a very tough part of the game because our goal is to bring in bowlers. And if we bring it back to the 60s and 70s where it is one ball, we lose out on a lot of money from the ball companies. The ball companies are what bring money into the game. They're the ones who have a lot of money in the game. If we lower their sales, if we knock any of them out, it's a big issue. And I think urethane brings up the wrong ways to read ball motion. Because it can be used on everything. If you have a high enough rev rate, you can use a purple hammer on every single pattern you bowl on. Kegel has no way of making patterns against it. I know Luke had a point. He'll probably message me about this, but Luke had a point about, well, just make lane patterns that block it out. So I specifically talked to one of the Kegel reps and high ups, and they said, we tried. We did everything we could. We put out patterns where urethane seemed nearly impossible to throw. What happened? People used urethane and they got really easy after 3 games because if you put enough surface on a urethane, it's going to look great. Doesn't matter what you do. You have to be so specific. We've tried for years to make patterns that are no urethane and it just doesn't work. If you have a high enough rev rate, a purple hammer is going to look electric. So it's one of the tough things with the game. And then if you make it soft, that thing can hook for miles. You can play 20-5 with that thing if it's a soft hammer, purple hammer. Like, I've thrown soft ones. They're crazy. They are insane. It's always wild to me. Yeah, BDG. Yeah, cheating will be the reason. 100%. And it's cheating that cannot be regulated, right? USBC said it very well where if you soak your bowling balls after a day or two, we have no way of knowing if you soaked them or if it's from natural softness. That is a really tough thing where they have no idea, which sucks. Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but that is urethane rant. I assume we're going to hear more about urethane, and it's always good to have these conversations of urethane to have everything out there. And I know If more people watch this, I'll probably have comments about like, you're wrong about urethane. I understand that. It's tough. That was one of the most divisive things in bowling, which is disappointing. Nick Hoagland was all but quoted saying he plays active defense against urethane at nationals. Even he is running out of tricks. Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. It is hard to make a pattern that blocks out urethane. Like, I don't know if people realize how much goes into pattern creation. They aren't just putting splotches everywhere. It is a tough game. Kegel, that is all they do is make patterns, make lane machines, and focus on oil. And they've put more money and time into urethane than anybody. And they can't figure it out. Like, if they can't, we're doomed. We are super doomed. Well, Tyran, the big thing with urethane is I think one of the biggest problems too is that we're calling current modern day urethane. It isn't. The Purple Hammer and Beyond are the first urethane bowling balls that are soft, that they brought them to the minimum hardness limit. Urethanes of the 70s, 80s, 90s, those are different bowling balls. 100% entirely different bowling balls. And that's another hard thing is like the names are the same, which makes it tough, but they are night and day different. Night and day different. JC, Baton Rouge didn't seem like a urethane fest. It wasn't, because the patterns they made were very, very like directly made just to combat urethane. Nick's pattern in doubles and singles was solely there to combat urethane. And what happened is, I forget who he was. Someone shot 814 with a black hammer, like just playing up 5 because it was there. Now, I don't recommend it because there's so much carry down. Like, urethane is bad for team competitions. If you're bowling nationals, do not throw urethane. You are putting yourself in a pit by throwing urethane at nationals. Very much an issue. And the glide oil, yeah, the glide oil was a thing as well. It's not a good idea because you just ruin the lanes for other people. We had a guy on our set who threw urethane and made the lanes 10 times harder for our partner team because there was so much carry down. It made the lanes hard. So always a good one too. Like, is urethane best in a lot of situations? Yes. Is it best at nationals? No, not at all. If you're on the same pair, it makes them hard. Man, I talked a lot. That's the most I've talked about urethane in a couple of months. Whew. Tyran, you got to keep the entertainment aspect. No one wants to watch 600 people toss a purple hammer for a week. The cheating is the worst, though. Yeah, the cheating is impossible, and that's another tough one is the entertainment side, because we are at a point where we need to make bowling fun to watch for non-bowlers. And if non-bowlers watch everybody play up 10 with the same bowling ball every single week, well, that's what I need to do as a bowler. That's not really the case. That's one of the things, like, if you ever grew up with baseball, like, you saw all these guys, like, I grew up in the David Ortiz era where he was rocking 40, 50 home runs a year. Well, what did I want to do? I wanted to hit bombs as an 8-year-old, but coaches, like, the coach's hardest job is like, no, that is bad. We need to teach you how to hit line drives, and then you will work onto those home runs. And bowling is going to be the same way, where a lot of kids are like, I want to throw Thane. I want to throw Thane. That's what all they do on TV. Well, no, that is a skill, but you need to learn all the other stuff as well. But right now you don't need to, which is hard. Thane, yeah. And Thane is fun. Absolutely. It's kind of dumb. I actually got now a Team USA member who I won't say the name of. We've talked and like, we're like, Thane is so stupid. If it's good, it's so easy to use. Like, I bowled on the USBC Masters pattern in a certain building, and I threw a Pink Widow. It was so easy. I shot 260, and I threw like 4 bad shots. It was dumb. So Thane is so easy at times. It's so easy in certain situations. Geo, I can throw my purple tank on anything, but it feels wrong. It's easy and good. That's a crazy thing. I always hate the idea of like one-trick pony. I always hated that. I always hate one-trick pony. It works, but like that's sometimes how balls are. You have to be a technical bowler to be an efficient bowler. No, you don't. It's good to understand your own game. I mean, Pete Weber, one of the best ever, doesn't know much about bowling balls. A lot of reps were telling him exactly what to do, and he was set. Random Chris TV Bowling. How do I tell my rev rate? Download Lane Tracks if you have an iPhone. Use the first 20 shots for free to try to figure it out. That is my best bet. Geo, I played up 5 in doubles and singles, and with the purple solid reactive and shmoney. Just bored during the IBF, 90% of the balls used were the purple hammer. Yeah, Team USA got shut out because of that. Andrew, I have an Ion Max and a Mania and a purple urethane. What else do I need? Weaker bowling balls. Definitely some symmetrical balls are the play. Let's see. Random guy, I did not. I think I already hit yours. Noru, I'm a national bowler for Guam, and I compete all across Asia. Is urethane still worth buying? That is going to be up to you, where you bowl and where it's allowed and not allowed. If it's allowed, yes, 100%. The necessity. Sea Lance, my 91 blue Phantom works better for me than a green pin purple. Well, those go dead straight. BDGF. Hoagland designed it to prevent urethane. Feet specifically hammer. Yeah, he put in the speed bump to eliminate urethane. 100%. GJ, looking at the chart to determine if you're rev or speed dominant. You're around 14 to 15 with 250 to 330 revs, which puts me in rev and balance on the lower side. Which would I be? I mean, between 250 and 330 is a big range for rev rate, so I'd recommend trying to hone that in a little bit more to figure out. But if you know that you're probably leaning on the rev dominant side, but you're not that rev dominant. PJ, I think once folks get tired of seeing urethane, they'll ban. If we want to grow the sport, then don't limit to urethane wins. But we did. I mean, that was 2018 to 2022 or 2021 before they put in the 78 hardness. It was literal. I mean, Jacob Buttroff ran rampant, winning everything, making every TV show by throwing a purple hammer. And I know he always came back at like, I don't just throw purples, I throw reactive balls, but like he threw purples 97% of the time. But that is what was best. And of course, you're going to do what's best. That's 100%. Like, you're pro or against urethane. If it was the best play at the time, do it. Absolutely. Let's see. Captain Sidetrack. That's what we did with the urethane. Exactly. It was sidetrack. Do I need a bigger, sharp, angular ball than the Widow 2.0 hybrid? I'm a balanced righty. Maybe the Evoke Hysteria. The Evoke Hysteria won't be much more angular. I'd recommend something a little bit different. I'd recommend something from Brunswick or Storm if you want a lot of angle in that category. But it's up to you. If you find out your hybrid is leaving too many corner pins, you might need something sharper. EJ, my other favorite sport is basketball. I don't like the 3-point fest now. Sounds like urethane is the same way. Yeah, and I guarantee, I mean, NBA, MLB, NFL, they're always putting in rules to change how the game is balanced. I mean, basketball, the reason that it's the case is they protected the shooter a lot more, where you can get offensive fouls a little easier, and then they took that away, where you cannot flop to try to, you cannot lean into defenders to get the extra free throw. So every sport does it. Baseball either juices the baseballs, makes them harder, makes them softer to kind of change how many home runs are hit per year. Remember when the Twins took over the title for most home runs in a season? I'm a Minnesota guy, so I've watched a lot of that. The baseballs were super hard because the Yankees also broke the record that year. People were hitting home runs on crazy hits that wouldn't have gone out with different baseballs, and people tested the baseballs and they were super hard. So every sport does it. Bowling doesn't, though. Bowling doesn't really change that stuff to try to change the game. Zach, you got any good replacements for the EJ? Jackal, you're throwing Brunswick. Energize, honestly. I think the Energize is pretty close. Don, if I'm using urethane for spares, but I keep shooting from left to right for the 10-pin, am I disrupting the righties? No. Honestly, a shot or two here and there doesn't affect it much. You have any bowling shoe recommendations? Ooh, KR Strike Force is my go-to right now. If you want beginner shoes, they have some Flyers that are really good. But if you want more advanced, I have the Gladiators personally. Otherwise, Dexter SST 6s or 8s are really. Tyran, Hammer needs to make something that looks like a purple hammer, but it's actually a Zero Mercy solid. Oh, dude, they got very upset with USB-C, so I guarantee they do something to kind of fight back. I'm shocked they didn't come out with another urethane ball at the end of last year. I thought they were going to. I can't believe they still made a letter attacking USB-C. That was crazy. That was still wild to me. Still absolutely wild. I haven't said it yet this stream, and we're at 8 o'clock, but make sure to follow or subscribe if you guys haven't. I'm a bad YouTuber. I'm sorry. Wow. Man. Remember to follow or subscribe if you haven't. Best way to help support the channel. Most of the stuff I'm doing is completely free and just, you know, like I said, I have a full-time job, hoping to get out of it sooner rather than later and being able to focus on this stuff more. But best way to help support is to just drop some love with some free stuff. Free follow, free subscription, free like. The best way to help support. Thank you guys all for supporting. If you guys do enjoy a lot of what we do now officially have a website. zvlbowling.com is a place that we have all of our categorization guides. We have all of our educational charts, and we'll be adding more and more and more to that website as the weeks go on. So please let me know anything you want to see on that website as well. We had, I think it was like 2,000 plus people already check out the site. So huge thank you to everybody that's checked it out so far. But if you can, I'd really appreciate just checking out the site if you like it or not. Bookmark it if you want. Seth, thank you for the 200 bits. And Spareware, thank you for the heart me and the golden buzzer. Man, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you, thank you. But I'd really recommend if you guys go check out the website. I think it's a cool thing. It's pretty basic in terms of like there's nothing out of this world on it. In the future, in a future iteration, I do want to have an interactive arsenal builder. I'm going to have to work with actual website designers to actually make that happen. So that's many months from now. But please let me know other ideas that you want on that website. Anything we do on the channel, I want to be able to add out there so that you guys can get some benefit from it. And it's always going to be a free website. There will never be a paywall to get in the website. I don't really believe in putting paywalls in this stuff. Like, I know there's one YouTuber I won't name who he only answers questions if you're a member. Like, he does not respond to commenters at all unless you're a member, which is stupid. It's so bad for the game. Like, free, like, that's why I am very much focusing on as much free content to you guys as possible. Everything you're watching right now, completely free. So that is the way to go. Seth, don't worry about it. I actually have a couple other people who've hit me up about the web design. It's nothing in my future for like the next couple of months. I have way too much stuff on my plate. So I think that'll be like a summer/fall thing. A ball-to-ball comparison, 100%. That would be another really cool one. I would love to have an actual database for that stuff instead of just a Google Sheets. But that's something I'd have to work on as well. I'd have to actually be able to get like a SQLite database and server, things like that. So we'll see. I missed a huge part. I got engaged. Oh, congratulations, Seth, getting engaged. Huge congratulations to Seth White for getting engaged. A longtime member of the channel, Instagram follower. He checks out a lot of stuff. So thank you, man. Or thank you. Why am I saying thank you to you for getting engaged? Congratulations. Holy cow. Oh, God, I'm tired. Help. Help. Otherwise, other good ways to support if you guys want to. We have a G Fuel code up here if you guys want some caffeine or hydration packets or some cool G Fuel merch. ZVL Bowling, 20% off at checkout, or now it's 30%. I got to change that. It's 30% right now at G Fuel, if I remember right. Let me verify, but I'm pretty sure they buffed me up to 30%. Captain Sidetrack, thank you for becoming a member, man. It is. It's 30% right now for ZVL Bowling at G Fuel. I have no idea why, but it's 30%. I might be using that for myself after this. They have a new flavor that I want to check out. Otherwise, if you do buy anything online, I really do recommend bowling.com. Make sure to say ZVL sent you in the comments if you buy anything from there. Accessories, bowling balls, shoes. They have the best deals in bowling. They always are competitive with every other place on the internet. So really would recommend that. Oh, I could always use some caffeine. Dude, what do they have right now? They have a couple new flavors that I wanted to try. Let me check quick. Yeah, they have a new Sonic one, Tornado. It's an orange dreamsicle, which looks pretty sick. I always like their cans. I'm not a big guy for like tubs of caffeine, but they have a lot of cool ones. They have a tea bagger. That's awesome. They are a gaming focused brand, so you're gonna see a lot of gamer. Let me look at their cans. They do have some cool gear. I do need one of their new hats. What was the one that I like? The Blue Bomber Slushy is good. Ooh, I want to try that one. Soda Ice Candy. That looks interesting. There's a Dragon Fruit one, a Spyro one, the Kamehameha can. That one's cool. 140 milligrams for all these. Power Pellet. That one must be cherry. Hype Sauce is good. I've tried that one a couple of times. Snow Cone is all right. Shiny Splash was good. Berry Bomb looks interesting. Wumpa Fruit, I do want to try. It's an apple mango, which is a weird flavor combo, so I might need to try that soon. But really appreciate that. And then bowling.com, of course. But we are going to do our final call for questions. So please throw any questions out in the chat as well. Spareware, speaking of hats, you have some hats? I saw you had some beanies. Go check out Spareware, by the way. They have some beanies that look sick. You guys are getting hats. Always got to let me know. Yeah, I'll be excited to see a lot of that. Zach has the Thane brain. Oh, God. TJ, agreed. The new site is awesome. My league guys really like the ball charts. Hey, that's awesome to hear. That's really cool to hear. And Robot Cow, thank you for the subscription, man. Appreciate it. Scott, can you add the ball names? Yes, I do need to do that. That's something I'm doing this weekend, is adding the actual text guides as well as just the charts themselves. Yes, that will be coming very soon. Yep, probably will be this weekend. I don't think there's a way to add like alerts when new things get added, but just check periodically. James, I can't pay for a membership because I'm not 18. Dude, that's okay. You remember, I will never ask anybody to pay. If you guys do not want to pay, if you do not have the funds, please take care of yourself. Do not pay random guy on the internet if you do not have the funds for it. Do not be one of those people. Do not be one of the guys who watches Kai Cenat and drops $3,000 when you don't have that money. Please, please keep that for yourself. The best way to support is by watching. Just watching, subscribing for free, following for free. Like, those are the ways to support. That is, if you do that, you have my eternal gratitude. Absolutely. So do not ever feel pressured to pay anybody on the internet. Please. That's always been one of my big pushes, is do not pay if you do not want to. Like, do not feel pressured to pay for anything ever in terms of online stuff like this. Like, of course, if you go grocery shopping, you have to pay for those. Don't take that and tell, Walmart, like, hey, Zach said I don't have to pay for this, and then try to take it. No, I will not pay your court fees, for the record. I think it's time for a monster random guy. Dude, I agree. GJ should have said 270 to 300. How accurate is Lane Tracks? Lane Tracks is fairly accurate. It's about as accurate as Specto. There is no true perfect way to determine rev rate, which is unfortunate. I wish I could find a way. I might try looking into that sometime. Use those Prime subs. Also a good point on Twitch. All right. Moonshine. How do you feel about my arsenal? That is a lot of... Oh, no, it's not many bowling. Gem, Zero Mercy, Reality, Hysteria, Crown Victory, Danger Zone as a Typhoon. I think like a medium strength solid ball is the play, like a Rockstar, Phase 2, Game Breaker 5, Venom Shock, something like that. Big Dioshi. I have an Ion Max and an IQ 2 or AI. Rockstar is in between. Rockstar Amped is in between. Equinox is in between. Something like that. Llama Buddy, I have a Max Effect Scorpion Strike. Throw it around 17 and 300 revs. Do you have a recommendation? Because I'm in the market for a new ball. Honestly, a Weaker Solid is another good play. Weaker Solid is another good play. Like I was saying before. Dojo Trident Horizon replacement. That's where an Evoke Mayhem comes in. Jacob, what is the best way to start bowling league? If you don't have a team, I'd recommend talking to your bowling center or your pro shop of like, hey, I want to join a league. What can I do? They're going to be the best ones to be able to point you in the right direction. Best way to do it. Love the ball chart. Thank you, James. Appreciate it. Lane, thank you for the follow. Seth, thank you for the 1,000 bits over on Twitch. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Sheesh. Oh, dang it. I needed some free groceries. I mean, results may vary. I will not be getting you out of jail, though. Board, how do we play on a carry down pattern? More left or right? Playing on 37-foot Broadway. If you have carry down, usually the best way is a little bit of stronger equipment to fight through that down lane oil. Carry down makes it seem like a longer pattern. So that's where stronger balls are the play. Let's see. Dropping very soon for the hats, for Spareware. Scoop, what does ZVL stand for? Those are my initials. So first name is Zach. A lot of you have seen my last name, which is Littmer. Of course, V is my middle initial. It is my my grandpa's name. So who was a bowler? Scott, love the website. Thank you, man. James, bro, mentioned Kai Cenat because I'm under 18. No. That was not why, actually. Just, I know I've seen so many clips of people when Kai was streaming that would drop like $2,000. And I remember there was a guy who was making fun of it on TikTok where like streamers be like, oh, thanks for the 200 subs, man. Cool. And then would move on. It's like, and that guy just dropped $1,000 on your channel. I would freak out if that ever happened. I think I had 150 once when I was Twitch streaming gaming stuff. Joe, now you steal content and paychecks. I do. Jacob, thank you for answering. Absolutely, Jacob. That's what we're here for. The goal here is to be the most interactive bowling stream you can find on the internet. A lot of other people don't answer that many comments. I am here to do the opposite. I am answering every comment. If you guys leave comments, DMs, I answer all of them. If you guys have never DM'd me, I answer every single DM you have. Like every single one. Do not worry about that. Like, never be afraid to DM me on any platform. Like, that is my job here, is to answer your guys' questions. A lot of others don't, so I'm filling that gap of being the guy who you guys can talk to. Like, never worry about that. I get back to you usually within 24 hours. If it's email, it's a little bit slower. I'm terrible on my email, but because my phone is always on me, I can answer, Discord, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it may be, all those DMs pretty quickly. Also, check out our Discord. It's a fun place. Getting honeymoon money, yeah. Chris was interested in a replacement for the Katana Assault. I forget why that one is. Radical. Is that the blue one? Yeah, that's the blue. 250-051-020. Low key Transformer is very close to that. Transformer is kind of close to that ball. So from Brunswick, you might have to go like a special effect. That's where like an Outer Limits black hole might fit. Random. Can't imagine having a donation over $100. Dude, well, the problem was mine was I had when I was Twitch streaming, when I was doing gaming stuff, I had a lot of challenges. Like if you do X amount of channel points, I will eat a Bean Boozled bean, or I will eat this random exotic food that people send me. Or I'll wear some dumb hat. Like, I don't know, you guys probably can see it right here. I have like that poop emoji hat. I have like 20 other hats below it that you guys can't see right now. I would wear for stream if you gave, 1 subscription, or if you did X amount of channel points. Usually it was channel points because I didn't get that many subscribers when I was doing gaming stuff. But one of them, for 25 subscriptions, I would wear any costume that you would send me. And I had have a PO box technically still. I got to find the key for it yet because someone sent me some stuff. Sorry, Mark. But I have a PO box where people would send me stuff. Someone sent me a maid outfit, and I wore a maid outfit for 2 hours on a stream of, I believe, what was I playing? Portal? I might have been playing Portal 2 at that time. There is footage out there somewhere of me on the internet in a maid outfit playing Portal 2, or it was Hogwarts Legacy, or it was something around that time. It does exist. But yeah, that was the most I've ever been given online. Crazy. All right, let me catch up a little bit more. Johnny, Hammerhead Phase 2, Hammer Effect Tour, Ion Pro Solid, too close together. Yeah, I think most of them are a little too close. Llama, where does the Scorpion Strike fit? Medium sharp. That was a medium sharp ball. TJ Devon, you should do a stream with Luke. That'd be a good stream. We were planning on it. Yeah, I'm actually bowling the Ozarks with Luke in late May. But yeah, there's going to be a time where we try to get a stream. He does have his Wednesday nights free. There's going to be a week sometime in the near future where I try to get Luke on to talk something with bowling stuff, because me and him vibe pretty well. It seems like we've been messaging quite a bit lately. So yeah, we'll try to make that happen. I think it'd be really cool. I know you guys really liked having Josh on, and I know when Brian was on a couple of months ago, you guys really liked that as well. So I want to get a few more guests on. So I might get Carolyn on at some point, might get a couple people from Bowlers Network. Since their reach is so large, I'd like to get more people on the stream. So that'll be coming soon. That'll be coming very soon. I might hit Storm at some point to try to get one of their guys on. I don't know who, but someone, if they have a new ball. Luke has to bring his dog. Oh, his puppy's always around. Scott, Discord is a great one. 100%. We have some awesome people out on the Discord. Evan, what ball would you put next in your arsenal? Fate, Idol, and Identity. A weaker solid, probably. Something like a Cove, Ion Pro Solid, IQ Tour, something like that. And Brandon and Dasher all day. Thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Best weak and smooth ball. I think the IQ Tour is still best, but the Danger Zone is doing well. And Dasher, welcome. Thank you for that. You should get House Hack Bowling on stream one day. Oh, hey, look at that. House Hack Bowling comments and asks for House Hack Bowling on stream one day. Crazy how that works. Chris was wondering what your opinion on creating the difference products. They're fine. A couple of their things are a little bit like all hype and not many results. But a lot of them are pretty good. Like, I really like their sanding pads. Their True Cut pads are really good. I like having a pack of those when you need a lot of surface on a ball. They hold together pretty well unless you put water on them and let them sit for a little while. Mine disintegrated a couple of times. That was sad. I like a lot of their cleaners. I think their turtle wax polish is terrible. I really hate that stuff. But that's a personal opinion. But overall, I think they do a good job. I think Ron does a good job over there. There's a couple things that are iffy, but yeah, a lot of good things. Jacob, you should stream with Darren Tang. Darren does not have any interest in streaming with me. Be blunt with that. He is a different caliber of both in the bowling world and in social media. So I don't have any other way of reaching out to him too. So it is how it is. But no, I'm always open for like larger names hopping on the streams if things work out. But you know, it always happens. Bayou, it's Sleepy Ghost Toast's birthday. Sleepy Ghost Toast, happy birthday. Have an amazing birthday, even though it's the end of the day right now. Like, I hope the birthday was great. Hopefully you have a good last couple hours of your birthday. Happy birthday. Bayou, make sure to go buy some nice stuff. Maybe 220 average, if you can get Packy, that would be sick. Oh, there's always people I'd like. And there's some things in the works to get some other names, but you know, even so, a lot of people don't see me as that big, and I'm not. Like 17,000 subscribers is still tiny compared to a lot of the big names. Subscribers don't mean that much though. Remember, subscribers can be purchased from some people. Subscribers can all come from one viral video. It is not really a great way to showcase viewers. A good way is viewer numbers. Always remember that. I know a lot of people, especially in bowling, get that mixed up. They see a big subscriber count, like, that's the biggest deal in the world. Like, watch out with that. TikTok, still, I mean, not crazy big. There's a lot of bowling names that are a lot bigger than me. Instagram, I'm not even at 10,000. Facebook, still growing, but, you know, one day, hopefully we'll have a little more. Like, being able to get Josh on was incredible. Being able to get Brian Buckosh on was incredible. Being able to get all those different opinions, and I hope to get more in the near future. James, if I have 2 GOAT storm balls, IQ2 or in phase 2 solids, is there a reason to get a sharp ball? Yeah, absolutely. When those balls start leaving 10 pins. Kelso, stop by to give a like and support the channel through the algorithm and sit through the ads. Thank you, Kelso. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Bribe them with cheeseburgers. Dude, if I had a good place for cheeseburgers, my town has no good cheeseburgers. I will be honest about that. Owatonna, Minnesota, we need a burger joint. We have nothing. Our best burger joint is a Mexican restaurant in town. They make awesome burgers. They're so good, but their other food is better. But there's no good burger joints. It's sad. Very sad. Let's hit a couple more. Train Boy, which of the 3 companies would you pick to get sponsored by? I don't have any interest in getting sponsored by any of them, actually. Just with the channel. I like being independent compared to any of the brands, just be able to throw anything that's good. So I usually bring all 3 brands to tournaments. Johnny, I do the Greater Ozarks in June. I have a problem with Sunshine. Any idea of balls to use? I have no idea. I've only bowled it once. I don't know much about it. Honestly, I think they hook a bunch and it's a slightly harder house shot. I think weaker balls are the play. Brandon, I have a Radical Power Hitter of Sub-Zero Forge, Crown Victory, and Ethos Solid. I like what you have right now, man. I would say something stronger than a Crown Victory for angle, and you'll be good. Please let me make you a burger at Nationals. Yeah, I'll be there early May. So if you want to make a burger in Reno for me, I'm in. All right, but are you going to stream tomorrow? I will not be live tomorrow. I'll be live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time is when we're live. Maybe this weekend if I find some time. I might stream some video games of some kind, but we'll see. And Tank Buster, have you tried the Judge from Swag? No. The only swag balls I've tried are the Apex Pearl and the Craze Hybrid. I did not match up to those at all. I would love to try some of their stronger stuff, but I am purchasing all of my own equipment, so I can't buy that many bowling balls. I need to use what benefits me at tournaments and at my own league play. And I don't see the swag stuff fitting very well with my game right now. But I know Swag is a Bowler Smart brand. I will never be getting stuff from them probably is my guess, but I would love to try some of their stuff sometime. But otherwise, that is going to be all for today, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for hopping in today. I really appreciate it. We went a little bit longer today. Ooh, it's already 8:20. Sheesh. We went a lot longer today, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Archie's in Reno will cover our burger fix and also does breakfast. I'm in. But I want to thank you guys. I really appreciate all of you guys hopping in, showing your support, following, liking, subscribing. You guys are the best. You guys are the absolute best. Best community in bowling. Thank you for hopping in every single week. Really appreciate it. We're live every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure to hop in. We're live for about 2 hours. Otherwise, these go live on YouTube right after. So if you want to watch them after the fact because you have league or other commitments, really appreciate you guys go check those out after the fact. For all of you who are watching on YouTube, if you made it this far, thank you so much for hopping in. Really appreciate you jumping in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Otherwise, we have a lot of cool stuff coming. We have a performance review on the summer 2025 bowling balls to see if any of those are worth it. We have a video on lefties coming soon. We have a top 3 tips for buying your next ball coming soon. Some tips that I learned along the way. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming. So thank you guys so much for hopping in. Really appreciate it. TikTok, I'm going to say goodbye to you first. TikTok, I will see you guys on the next one. I'm just glad TikTok works again. It didn't work over the weekend, which was sad. Last one, Coach Ken K. I've got a squad for the Peterson to bowl the Lumberjack. You in or are you scared? I'm never scared to bowl. It's just if it works with my schedule and travel. I don't even know where the Peterson is this year, but hit me up on Discord and we can talk. How many balls do you own? Probably about 60. Performance reviews on the Zero Mercy. No, those will be in a couple weeks. Those will be probably a couple months yet. I like to look at balls that are like 4 to 6 months old. My goal. Thanks for another interesting chat. Thank you, Brian. All right. Thank you guys all so much out there. Really appreciate it. Remember, a lot of cool stuff coming on. So thank you so much. If you guys ever have suggestions on any new stuff to do for content or add to the website, whatever it may be, I will always take whatever feedback you guys have. Otherwise, thank you guys so much. I will see you on the next one.